Good Friday morning, YouTube. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are going to have a start of a wonderful weekend. Good morning. Well, honey, we got some stuff to unpack today, right? This is going to be a long video, so you guys need to settle in. If you're at work, put your headphones on, because, honey, guess what I found? First, let me preface this by saying good morning, everybody, right? Hey, Brand, thanks for popping in. I know you're busy, but thanks for popping in, girl, right? So back in, we've been talking about, as of late, Gabrielle Union and Dwyane Wade, because Dwyane Wade, pretty much, let the world know. Good morning, Short and Sassy, Jasmine. Good morning, everybody, right? Dwyane Wade, a little while ago, let the world know that his baby son, well, one of his kids, he's not the baby son, evidently, but one of his kids that he has custody of, Zion, the 12-year-old, says that he feels like he's a girl inside, and Dwyane Wade, he's done this whole press tour, about, supporting his son and all of this and all that, right? And so, we've not heard anything from the boy's biological mom. And then, as a matter of fact, Gabrielle Union, first started talking about, even before Dwyane Wade did, the stepmom, Gabrielle Union, started talking about, Dwyane Wade's son, Zion. We know last year when he was 11 years old, she took him to a gay pride parade. Do you see what I'm saying? And all this and all the third. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a gay pride parade, but I don't think that that is a place for an 11-year-old child. But these people and the way they're raising their kids, okay. But anyway, like I said, we hadn't heard anything from the child's mom, Dwyane Wade's ex-wife. Her name is Siobhan. Siobhan Fuqua Wade or something like that. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, everybody. Okay. Yes. Yeah, now I did hear that she's not pleased about it. She doesn't agree with it. You see what I'm saying? But Dwyane Wade has primary custody of his kids. Now, the only thing, I've never been a sports fan, but back in the day, 2012, 2011, 2010, there was a whole lot of stuff going on about Dwyane Wade. The only thing I know about it is what I saw in passing in the news, right? So the media, the mass media, CBS, ABC, NBC, and the cable networks, they painted a picture of Siobhan Wade, Dwyane Wade's ex-wife and mother of Zion, the son that he's pretty much pulled out of the closet for the world to see. I don't know why he's doing this. This baby is 12 years old. What if he changed his mind? What if he's just doing this for attention? Why would you out your son at such a young age, right? So anyway, come to find out, it's a whole lot of chicanery going on with Dwyane Wade, okay? And so this interview from 2012, but let me go back. The mass media wanted to paint a picture of this lady is crazy. The Dwyane Wade's ex-wife. Yeah, Dwyane Wade, that's right, making it work for me. He made everybody think, that this woman is crazy. He's got the money, he's got the power. There was some chicanery going on, which involved him getting the custody of his children, because when you got fame, you got money, you got power. I mean, he had the whole NBA, all their powers that be, and their lawyers, high-powered lawyers, not to mention Gabrielle Union. All of these people was behind him against Siobhan. So he was able to paint any picture he wanted, about Siobhan. And the picture that he painted about Siobhan was that she was crazy. I saw all this stuff going on the news. I remember one time she was out in front of a courthouse with a poster that said she was homeless and all of this and all that. The world wanted her to think she was crazy. I mean, because they showing this picture, right, to the world, but they're not telling the backstory. right? So I always assumed that he got custody of the kids, because she was crazy. No, come to find out, honey, that is not the case. Okay. And so she gave an interview to a YouTuber. I guess she didn't trust the mass media, ABC, CBS, NBC, because they had already, painted her as being this crazy woman, and they probably wanted to shut her up. Do you see what I'm saying? People with money can manipulate a situation oftentimes any way they want to, manipulate a situation, right? And so, guys, like I said, I found this interview on YouTube back from 2012, and Siobhan Wade, Dwyane Wade's ex-wife, is telling her side of the story. Not only is she his ex-wife, but they pretty much were raised up together. Dwyane Wade, at one point in time, prior to him even going to college, actually lived in Siobhan's mother, his ex-wife, mother of Zion. She took him in. He had a tumultuous childhood. There was abuse involved. He saw his mother being abused. I imagine he was being abused. It's a whole lot of stuff going on, and it explains a lot. When I listened to this interview, what it did was explain to me why. Why is he doing this? Why is he so doesn't have a problem with putting his son out there? And I got a pretty good idea of a couple of reasons. I've seen a couple of those videos. But anyway, I'm gonna play this interview. The YouTuber, she broke this interviewer up in many parts, and so it's like 7 to 8 or maybe 9 parts, right? And so and yes, she was his child. I'm glad you mentioned that, because at the time that Dwyane Wade was going through all of this with his now ex-wife, he was having I hope Brandy's in here so she can get that. We got a troll. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me switch over. That's why I asked Brandy to pop on for a minute if she could. Not only for just a few minutes, so I can deal with these trolls. So I don't know if she got it out or not, but I gotta go to the channel first. You see, this is what I'll be talking about. And you guys know I really don't do the I guess she ain't in here right now, but I'll get rid of the troll. Hold on. There we go. So anyway, when you guys see a troll, please hit troll alert in the thing, because I don't have any moderators on here with me right now. And once again, good morning, everybody. I know I'm talking fast, but this is a long please put up those likes. Oh yeah, thank you, Jasmine. Yes, please put up the likes. And also, if you got, this is a good interview. This is some real good tea. And if you guys feel the need, I will not be offended if you also hit that Cash App or that PayPal, okay? Because this is a good one for us today. And I appreciate you guys support so much. It keeps me wanting to find new information for you guys. And some of that new information I am, letting you guys hear this morning. But like I said, this is a new interview. Okay, I mean, this is a interview from 2012 that I found right here on YouTube, right? And also, Gabrielle Union was fooling around with Dwyane Wade when he was still married to his wife, okay? And come to find out, Gabrielle Union, I heard something about her a long time ago. I think it was from Will Smith's wife. Her and Gabrielle Union were once supposed to be friends, right? And, evidently there was a clique going around Hollywood to where Gabrielle Union was a part of this mean girl clique, right? So they would go around, being mean girls, to other actresses. You know how it is, with a group of women. So she was a mean girl. And so, not only was Dwyane Wade fooling around on his wife with Gabrielle Union, come to find out he was also fooling around with Gabrielle Union, fooling around on Gabrielle Union while he was fooling around on his wife. And he had a baby. I don't know if he was still married to the wife, but he wasn't yet married to Gabrielle Union. But there is a baby by another woman that Dwyane Wade had. Okay, and before we start the interview, and good morning again, everybody. But before we start this interview, y'all hit that like button, y'all hit that Cash App, y'all hit that PayPal. This is a good one. So before we start this interview, I want to share with you guys. Here goes another troll. Let me get him out of here real quick. Okay. So before we start this interview, let me share a little report from, I think it was TMZ, about Dwyane Wade and the baby that he had before he married Gabrielle Union. and either after or during his divorce with his first wife. Okay, and after I show y'all, I let y'all listen to that because this is all audio, right? I have to play the audio. I can't play these people's videos, but I can play the audio, right? And so, let me play for you this little TMZ video. This is from 6 years ago. TMZ is reporting on the fact that Dwyane Wade had a baby on Gabrielle Union, and they ain't even married yet. Okay, so anyway, Dwayne, you's a bad boy. But all of this stuff is coming together for me now. It makes sense. But you know, YouTube is a mug. YouTube will have stuff coming down your stream that you never even knew was on YouTube. Okay, so we also have YouTube to thank for this video this morning. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, let me go back to another screen. If y'all see a troll, just somebody put troll alert because I'm not going to be able to see it on my phone while I'm playing the interview, but I will stop the interview and go back to the phone so I can block the troll because I'm the only moderator this morning. So if you see a troll pop up, I can see, you know, the comments on the what do you call this thing? On the StreamYard, but I can't block it. I have to go back to my phone. Anyway, because I don't have no moderators this morning, but that's okay. Yeah, Jessica, help me out, baby. Okay. When you see, just hit whatchamacallit. Just hit troll alert, type troll alert or something like that, and then I'll stop the video and I try to get the troll out. Okay, y'all work with me, okay? But this is a long interview. All right. And Brandy will be popping in and out. She popped back on just a few minutes ago, but I know she, you know, we got a whole snow situation, and you know, when it's a snow situation down here, they be tricky with the school times and stuff. That's why Brandy blocking in, you know, jumping in and out. And I ain't seen Cloud this morning, but that's cool. We're gonna do this together because we are interactive over here. Anyway, let me pull up this TMZ interview. And so we can listen to that before we listen to Dwyane Wade's, you know, wife's interview. Okay, her in-depth, should I say, interview. And also, let me just, and I told you guys the situation with the baby that came before he married Gabrielle Union, and I don't know if he was still going through a divorce or if he was already divorced from the first wife, but Gabrielle Union was fooling around with him while he was still married to Dwyane Wade's ex-wife Siobhan. And Siobhan and him have a long history together. They didn't just meet in college. They didn't meet, you know, when he was already a basketball star. She said she had known this boy since he was 5, 6 years old, right? There's a history there. Okay, and her interview is gripping. I'm like, oh my God. But it makes sense. And I also didn't know that he came from Chicago. I didn't know that either. I learned that interview. Anyway, let me play this little audio concerning Dwyane Wade and the baby that he had on Gabrielle Union before he married her. Okay, but Gabrielle Union ain't no innocent victim. And I wanted to know what role she had in this situation with this Zion. And I'm just going to try to save that commentary for later on when we start going through the video. Okay, because like I said, this video is broken up into like 8 or 9 videos. And in between me clicking from one video to another, I do the commentary in the middle. That's why I said this is going to be a long one. So anyway, y'all sit back and relax, okay? Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that super chat or that PayPal or that, what do you call it? Cash App, because this is a good video. Y'all gonna appreciate my work on this one. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so let's start with the TMZ video. Again, I can only play the audio. I'm not gonna play these people's videos. And plus, when I play the video, the sound be breaking up. Some important information be getting lost in the sauce, so I don't mind playing it on my phone anyway. So here's the TMZ video. This video is from 6 years ago. Okay, so let me play it, and we'll come back to discuss. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let this commercial go through. I hate commercials. Yes, I do. Boom, skip that. Okay.
Information about Dwyane Wade's little baby that was just born. And you know what? You know how he says he was on a break? Well, the timeline doesn't really make sense. Hey guys, Dax Holt here. So TMZ Sports obtained the birth certificate for Dwyane Wade's new little baby boy. Found out his name, Xavier Zachariah Wade. And the baby was born last month. So if you look at the timeline, born last month, 6 weeks before Dwyane Wade proposed to Gabrielle Union, and she started posting the photos of her ginormous diamond ring online. So here's what we do know. Looking at the birth certificate, we found out the baby mama's name is 30-year-old Aja Matoyer. She does not actually list Dwyane Wade as the father on the birth certificate but the kid's last name is Wade. One other interesting thing is we know that Aja has 2 other children. Come to find out, the baby daddy for these other 2 kids, Damon Wayans Jr. So a lot of people are asking right now, how is it that Dwayne has another child when he's been dating Gabrielle Union since 2009? Well, here's the thing. Here at TMZ, we did a little digging. We traced back the time since the kid was born in November. You trace that back 9 months prior. That was February. And based on Gabrielle's all of her Instagramming, posting photos, it seemed like she was very much with Dwayne at the time. On February 5th, she posted a photo of Dwayne and her dog, and she said, "Sasha don't play when it comes to her man. Down to ride till the very end. It's me and my boyfriend." Which, most people, you look at the photo, you go, okay, they're doing fine. They're together. She posts another one of Dwayne holding her scripts with the caption, "It takes a village to help an actress learn her lines." So clearly, they were together all of February, which doesn't really go along with their timeline of a break. However, when it does change is April. In April, she starts posting a bunch of sad tweets. We cannot start over, but we can begin now and to make a new ending. So a lot of like inspirational sad tweets. Then, flash forward to May, suddenly Dwayne pops back into the picture. She says how much she likes him. So if you add it all together, it seems like maybe she did find out about this, then forgave him and took him back. Either way, if she wants to forgive him, that's her thing. Let them be happy. Congrats.
Wow. Okay, so that was a TMZ interview about the baby that Dwyane Wade had while he was either going through divorce or already divorced from his first wife, Siobhan, but he was not yet engaged, but he was fooling around with his wife, Gabrielle, when Gabrielle Union was a side chick. They was together, and he had a baby in between all of that from somebody named Asia. And the Asia lady has babies, has 2 babies by the Wayans Jr. guy, right? And somebody on the stream said that Asia was a professional gold digger. I don't know if she is or not, but she got her a whole trick baby by Dwyane Wade. Okay, by the name of Xavier. I didn't know that until this morning, thanks to YouTube. Good morning, Cloud. How you doing? Hope all is well. So anyway, guys, like I said, so now we are going to, I want you guys to hear that part, because Dwyane Wade, but now it's all starting to make sense. Why he put his son out there like that, and you know that that he got a documentary coming up concerning this situation, right? So I'm thinking, okay, but I'm gonna save that commentary to later of what I think why. Now I realize how he is able to do this to his child, because in my opinion, 11 years old going to a gay private play and 12 years old letting the world know that your son, think you're a girl on the inside and he's transgender and all of this and all that, doing a documentary, doing a whole press tour, it all makes sense. And when y'all hear this interview, y'all gonna see where I'm coming from. It makes sense how he could do this to his child. Okay? And yes, Gabby was a proud side chick. She sure was. Gabrielle Union is not innocent in this. Okay, she is running this show when it comes to her little boy, and I now understand. I see Gabrielle Union is sneaky, she manipulative, and she a dirty heifer. Okay, and they totally disregarded the birth mother, Siobhan, the ex-wife, as absolute disrespect. Okay, the way that they did her was dirty, but y'all gonna hear it for yourself. And Siobhan, just let me say, Siobhan Wade, this woman is not crazy. Okay. And it's a whole lot going on. But like I said, I'm going to do my commentary when I'm switching to one part of the interview to another. I'm going to do my commentary in the middle. I'm trying to save it to the end. But baby, I don't appreciate him. He ain't no good. Just let me say that right now. He real dirty. He real grimy. And oh, baby. But the devil always have his due. Anyway, let me do the first part. Find the first part of the interview for you guys, and we can get started, honey, because this is too much. It's too much. Shame on him. I'm just saying. Let me go and get started, because, honey, I start preaching. Okay? And once again, y'all, if this is audio, please hit that like button if you don't mind. Because, honey, and once again, this interview is Dwyane Wade's ex-wife, Siobhan Wade. Okay, now there are a couple of different parts, and in between each part, there are also a couple of different people talking in the interview, and I'm going to explain who it is that's talking, because I can only play the audio. Okay, and so let me find the first part for you guys. Now, on this first part of the interview. This first video of the interview. This is Siobhan Wade, Dwyane Wade's ex-wife, mother of Zion. The child is coming out and he wants to be transgender or whatever. This is her talking to the interviewer. This is just her. This is just them two talking. Okay. And so, yeah, let me hit the play, and I'm gonna let you guys listen. And like I said, the interview is broken up into several parts, and in between each part, I'm going to do commentary in between each part. But so here's this part of it. So let's get started. And this is just Siobhan, the ex-wife, and the interviewer right now. Okay, hold on.
Welcome to Real Talk with Kietta. Today I am interviewing Siobhan Wade, the ex-wife of NBA player Dwyane Wade. Siobhan, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to your lovely home. I was just wondering out of curiosity, and I'm so thankful that you invited me. You could have invited anybody, because I'm sure people want to hear what you have to say. Because in the media, this thing has played out to be real ugly, to be honest with you. But I've never really heard your version or never seen pretty much anywhere where you've made comments. And what made you decide to actually give your version and your account of what your truth is?
Can I turn it up? Yeah, can you hear it better now, Jessica? Hit the one if you can hear it better.
Fear. You are afraid. Yes, I was. So, when did you actually meet Dwayne? We met when we were in like the 5th grade. Wow. And so you all became immediate friends.
Let me pause this. If it's not loud enough, guys, you guys might want to put your headphones on, okay? But I'm gonna turn the microphone up just in case. But you can put your headphones on if you can't hear it either. All right? Because this is on my phone and I'm playing it into my microphone. But still, if you can't hear it, you might. If you put your headphones on, you may be able to hear it even more. So anyway, let's continue with the interview.
Yes. So that wasn't like your little buddy, like you liked him in 5th grade. You all were just friends in 5th grade. No, I didn't like him then, but we were friends, yes. Okay. And so as the years...
Let me pause. I don't know if you guys caught that. She said she met Dwyane Wade in 5th grade. They was, but it's low in the beginning. I turned my headphones up. Sounds okay. Thank y'all. She met Dwyane Wade when she was in the 5th grade. Okay, so let's continue.
Progressed. Your relationship obviously turned to something romantic. When did you actually start dating Dwayne? I think that I probably was 15 or 16 years old when we actually started dating. Wow. So you all been together for you all were together for a long time. Yes, we were. And during that time, when he was 15 and younger, what was his personality like? And what were you like during that time? I think I was pretty outgoing, very funny. And friends, we were friends. Although I was a female, he was a male, I was able to, interact with him like one of his male friends, one of the guys. And he was, loving then, and he was very, I would say maybe soft-spoken, very humble, at that time. And during that time, I read some things, he pretty much had a tumultuous childhood. I read that his mother was in and out of prison. His father was abusive to his stepmother. How did you play a role in actually helping to soothe him or calm him or to connect with him on that level? Well, at that time, when he finally did confide in me about what was happening in his home and what had happened with his mom, he wasn't living with her at that time, about drug use and in and out of her being in and out of prison. The abuse was pretty bad in his house, and one night it gotten really bad, and him and his sister, his younger sister, had came to my home probably at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I opened the doors, and that's when I basically had to tell my mom what I knew about what was happening in his home and what was going on, because I had to explain to her why he was coming to the door at that hour at 16 years old. And so I had spoken with my mom, and I had told her what was happening, and I asked her, is it any way that he can stay with us and not have to live in that kind of environment? And your mother approved of this? Yes, she did. So During this time, too, from my understanding, you all were dealing with the tragedy yourselves.
Yes, we were.
You lost your biological sister.
Yes, the only sibling.
The only sibling.
Yes.
So, to me, it would seem as though that I can see that you become close, especially if that was one of your closest friends, Dwayne, and he's confiding in you. I know that you felt extremely close to him to tell him certain things and to confide in him. Did that bring you all closer together?
It absolutely did. I would say at that time that, that was my very best friend, which is what, and while he was my best friend and I was his, that's what had us to confide in each other about things that, weren't that easy to speak about or didn't have other people at the time, to trust with that sort of important things that was going on.
Do you mind, Siobhan, if I bring your mom out to speak to us about Dwayne living with you all?
Not at all.
Okay. Ms. Funches,
So let me stop it right here. So far, we've heard that Siobhan Wade, Dwyane Wade's ex-wife, met him when she was in 5th grade. We heard that Dwyane Wade and his mom, Dwyane Wade's mom was in and out of prison when Dwyane Wade was a child. We also learned that they were in an abusive situation with, I don't know if it was his dad, I believe it was his dad, but he lived in an abusive situation. Eventually he couldn't take it no more, and he came to live with Siobhan Wade's mom. And so now the interview is going to be Siobhan Wade speaking Siobhan Wade's mom. The next voice you're going to hear is the interviewer talking to Siobhan Wade's mom. We also learned that Siobhan lost her sister. Her sister died, her only sister. She had died. So her mom is now dealing with the loss of a child, and she's also dealing with not only the loss of a child, but she's dealing with taking in Dwyane Wade, and she's going to explain her side of it. Now, his mama, she's a God-fearing woman. Do you see what I'm saying? So when she mentions God, God is her faith, God is her rock. She has leaned on, her God, for everything, and we know that there is nothing wrong with that to me. You know what I mean? And but she took this boy in, and she didn't have to. Do you see what I'm saying? That is the point I'm trying to get across to you guys. And so let me find that other part of the clip. My stuff is out of order this morning. I'm going back and forth. Hold on 1 minute. And but yeah, she's gonna tell, she's gonna tell what it was like when she met the guy, when she met Dwyane Wade. All right. So let me try to click this over here.
welcome back to Real Talk with Kietta.
I paid him allowance money.
Okay, hold on a minute. It's just the part of, okay, also I had to rewind it, y'all. But anyway, here we go. This is the next voice you're gonna hear. Is Siobhan's mom.
We're sitting down here with Siobhan Wade, the ex-wife of NBA player Dwyane Wade, and Siobhan's mother, Mrs. Funches. Now, a question that I wanted to ask you was, I asked you earlier before the break, have you ever reached out to Dwayne to discuss what's going on and where did this go wrong? Has he ever reached out to you?
Yes, he has, through subpoenas, depositions, having people to forge my signature, committed forgery, and the judge stood there and said he knew it, and they did nothing about it. So through the courts and all that mess, yes, he drug me into that. That's how we reached out to me.
So, how do you feel about this? I mean, how do you feel about the treatment of your mother and the same woman that reached out to Dwayne and cuddled him in his time of need when he didn't have nowhere to go? How do you feel about the treatment of your mother?
Well, I felt very hurt because I know that it hurts her. And I know, the time that he came into her life, what was happening in her mourning my sister, having died. And so I know that the relationship was very special. And for me to see their relationship broken and torn like that, for me to see him do things, depositions or what have you to her, I'm not looking at it like, than a wife or an ex-wife. I'm looking at it more so like, wow, that's our mom. It's like, what is he doing? You know, he's hurting her.
Do you feel like, well, do you think maybe he felt as though that you was taking sides with Siobhan? I mean, did you?
Throughout the whole time that they were dating and even when they got married, I told both of them when they did something wrong. And I told both of them when they did something right. And I've always told both of them I'm not on even one of their sides. I'm on God's side. So whoever's wrong, you're wrong.
So in times that Siobhan was wrong, as they was dating or when they was married, you would actually tell Siobhan when she was wrong, as well as tell him when he was wrong.
Absolutely. And you know how kids are, get mad, you take it up for them. Well, they would just both have to be mad at me because I didn't care what neither one of them thought. I was on the side of God. Whoever was wrong and whoever was right, and I told them about it.
And so you all honestly continued to have a dialogue after you all were married, and then when the children were born. When did it break down?
When did it break down? It broke down when Dwayne had started doing things that was not what a husband or a father should have been doing. And I did say something back then.
And his
like
reaction?
I said was, you know, well, by then he didn't need to listen to anyone.
He had changed?
Yes.
His conscience. In ways like?
Well, let me put it to you this way. The love of money, it is the root to all evil. When people start worshiping money and thinking that it makes people gods, that's it. You can't tell anyone anything.
So you're saying that once Dwayne became an NBA player, his whole attitude changed?
Not long afterwards.
Money, to me, when people say money changes people, well, first of all, money has to change you because you can't do the same things.
Right.
However, when you are a person that's really a deep-rooted person, a good person, money just reveals who you really are because you'll still be that good, giving, loving person. It doesn't necessarily have to make you a bad person. I think that attribute had to be within you before. That's just my personal opinion about it. And I'm just wondering, throughout the times he was living with you, there was nothing that you remotely even saw within Dwayne that could have presented itself and you just maybe overlooked it, or?
I saw the angry side of him, but when you say money, he didn't have any.
Exactly.
I had paid him allowance money just to clean around the house so that he would have show money. I did that for my daughter, even some of his brothers and cousins. Same thing. They had a maximum, $200 to do. If it took 10 hours to do it or if it took a week.
So you saw
the $200 was to keep them from out of the streets in the summer, doing something to get money that was not legal. So, I mean, what did he have?
You say you saw an angry side of him. Can you tell me about some examples of that?
Oh, one time he punched a hole in my door, you know, and I knew a lot of things was going on at that house, you know, a lot of things that was not good things that no child should endure.
Siobhan, let me ask you this. You all came from obviously a well-rooted, loved home. You and Dwayne get married. You all high school sweethearts. You all go from. Did you have a job? Were you making millions back then? I'm just going.
Not millions, no.
Okay, and Dwayne was homeless, pretty much living with you. Okay, you all went from having no money to millions of dollars overnight. How did that truly affect you?
I was scared. You know, we were in college together at Marquette, and I remember when the speculation and all the talk began about possibly he could go to the NBA. And I had sat him down and I said, I'm hearing this, and I asked him to explain to me, you know, what was going on and what is the likelihood of that happening. And when he told me that he could actually go a year ahead of time, which is 2002, I asked him not to. And, you know, he explained to me about financially, he felt we'd be better off if he did. But I was telling him, I think that, you know, as far as our family is concerned, it was Zaire just then. And me and him, I said, I think that we need to make sure that our foundation is strong, because I've never, at that point, had heard anything positive about families in that particular lifestyle. And I said, I just think we need to be married. Let's work on that. Let's build this. Let's make this stronger and focus on our family before we go into something like that. So I had my doubts, going in, and I had my fear, and I can't say that I didn't have reason, to be afraid of it failing, because for me, the family was more important than the fortune.
How did you feel, Ms. Funches, when you heard about he could possibly go to the NBA in 2002? Did you actually encourage him to do this?
No, I kind of discouraged it also, because I felt like he was only in his second year of college, and if he waited one more year, at least he would have 3 years under his belt, and it would be easier to graduate and have a degree.
Well, so once he was drafted, you all moved right to Miami?
No, not right away. We spent that first summer actually in a condo downtown in Chicago. And then once fall came, then we moved to Miami.
Ms. Funches, did you ever expect for Dwayne to do anything for you once he became an NBA superstar?
No. Matter of fact, I told him. The speculation was he was going to buy me a house because I was nice to him. And I told him to put everybody at ease. He's not buying me a house, and neither should he buy anybody else a house. He should buy a house for his wife and his son and learn how to pay his own bills. Don't even go there. I have a house. I have a job. And even once, Shaquille O'Neal asked that same question, and I told him, no, Dwayne is not going to. I'm not going to retire, and for him, because I'm going to keep my job. And that's the way it went.
Well, Siobhan, once you became an official NBA wife, you're down in Miami. We all know how Miami nightlife is. I'm just being honest with you. Miami's a different place. What was it like for you to be in a different atmosphere? I mean, you're from Chicago, born and raised. Now you're down in Miami. You all are multimillionaires, living in $1 million houses, driving fancy cars. Were you happy?
It all depends on which day you ask me. I was happy because it was a dream of his to go to the NBA. And so his dreams somehow became even my own. So I was very happy because he was happy. I saw him fulfill his dream. I saw him, set a goal and do it. And I was proud of him. I was happy for him. But when I realized that, we had gotten this fortune and it was going to be an exchange for our faith and our family, I was destroyed.
When did everything start changing?
I would say the first time it started to get really bad was the summer right after he'd been drafted. That summer following the draft, I was over the phone with him, and he had said something to me very, very angrily, and I was telling him about the way he was speaking to me, to stop being disrespectful and things like that. And he told me, do you want to go and live in your mother's house? Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to end up back living in your mother's house in Robbins.
Well, he still there.
Yes, I was very shocked, but the threat was like, do you want me to, somehow cash you out of our house and put you in a position where you're back living in Robbins in that house? And it was a very, very awful feeling. And I would say that we stayed together, yes, but from there, now that I look back and I can reflect on it, I would say from that moment, it went downhill.
As an NBA wife, are you all expected to pretty much allow your husbands to cheat and just don't say anything?
Well, first of all, I want to say, not now. I'm not an NBA wife. I'm not an ex-wife. I'm not a basketball wife. Thank God, I finally know who I am and I have my own identity. But at that time, I certainly was married to him and the game and the lifestyle. And I do think that that's the expectation. Absolutely. You're seen, but you're not heard. And it's so many other women, so many other wives that I've had the opportunity and been fortunate enough to console, and they have consoled me. And yes.
So you would think, though, just saying, as an outside person looking in, you would think that when these basketball wives are married to these men who make millions of dollars, what other reason could they not be happy? You would think that would be the life. Why did you have to console these women? What were they so hurt and upset about?
Well, it all depends. I mean, there were women who were physically abused, emotionally abused, financially abused. There were women who had, at the same time that they were pregnant, their husband had gotten another woman pregnant. There was a lot of adultery going on, and it was just awful. It was awful. If you name it, it was happening.
Was that new to you though? I mean, when you and Dwayne was in high school and going through college, you never had really issues of him cheating on you or dealing with other women?
I had an issue in college, yes. Yes, we did.
So did you think once you got married that issue was going to change?
No, I didn't think it was so much marriage that we're doing. We were actually married at that time that happened. But I was hoping after we got past that, and resolved that issue, that we wouldn't have to revisit it.
And when you got down to Miami, it's obvious that it was revisited. How did you address issues of infidelity with Dwayne, or was he having affairs in Miami?
Yes, I was hurt. I was angry, of course, but I would say more than even being hurt and angry, I was very, very disappointed, because Dwayne had never been just my husband. He had been first my very best friend. So it wasn't just like somebody cheating on somebody or somebody wronging someone. It was the kind of hurt that comes when a best friend turns on the other one.
Ms. Funches, were you there when, I know you were there, but how were you there for both Dwayne and Siobhan when everything just started becoming chaotic in Miami? Who would listen to you? Who would not listen to you? Who were you trying to talk to? What did you do? Did you try to intervene?
Again, like I said, I was only on one side, and that was God's side. So whatever was wrong that I saw was wrong, I told him. It's a shame if someone sees something and don't say something. So I said what I had to say when it needed to be said.
Were you lonely, Siobhan, in Miami?
Absolutely. I absolutely was. I remember thinking, I lived in a $4 million house, fully furnished, with loneliness, abuse, betrayal, sadness. It was hard. It was the most difficult time probably in my life.
Did you ever feel as though the betrayal of your ex-best friend, your ex-husband, would escalate to this point that we are today, that you all are in today?
No, I never would have imagined that it would have gotten this far. I have seen sides of him. Things have come out of his heart that somebody could have paid me to believe were in there, or that he would do, or that he would say. I mean, I have been in shock. I have literally been in shock. There's been times when I have even, gotten upset with people and said to them, before they tell me something like that, they better make sure that it's the truth. Because again, it was my very best friend, but unfortunately, it has been very real also.
So you saw the changes right before your eyes?
I absolutely did. I watched them happen, and I tried to stop it from happening. I literally can say I tried to save him from himself, who I saw him becoming. I tried to sit down with him. I tried to reason with him. I reached out to Coach Riley. I reached out to Coach Riley's wife. I reached out to other wives married to NBA players and sought their advice when I noticed it was happening, that he was changing and changing for the worse. There's nothing wrong with change, but changing for the worse is bad. And I saw him in exchange for money and fame, selling his soul. I saw him taking, his character and exchanging it for yet another endorsement or yet another fan, and that was the problem.
Now I'm going to ask you this, and we're going to go to break. But can you honestly say that at one point in time, maybe you saw yourself changing a little bit too?
Oh, absolutely. I went through it. I did. I think that everything, when I first got to Miami and I was able to observe other families, other players, other women who were married to players, it was almost like a mental checklist. And I would say, those are things I never want to do. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to be that kind of wife. I'm never going to do those sorts of things. You know, because I saw some women angry. You know, I saw them and I saw some women sad. And I watch women go from sad to getting even. And I was saying I wouldn't be that type of woman, you know. But it seems like almost everything I said I would never do, I ended up doing it. There's a few things I missed on the checklist, but my change and my transformation, my wake-up call, my realization that this is not right, and I have to get back to who I am and be true to myself, regardless of what the bank statement says. It just came very soon. It didn't take me long.
Well, I'm glad that you did wake up. And I'm just going to tell you, seriously, I'm just asking you because I just want to know out of curiosity. Is he still in there?
Yes, he is. In spite of him trying to have me arrested, in spite of him suing me, and in spite of people forging my signatures, that's what you do to your real child. You don't disinherit them when they do something bad.
You just discipline.
You discipline.
Now that, Miss Funch, is what I call unconditional love. We'll be right back with more Real Talk with Kietta. Okay,
so that is we're gonna go to the next part of the interview. Like I said, this interview is broken up into several parts, but we just heard Siobhan discuss, you know, how she met Dwayne. She met him when she was in the 5th grade. We heard her mama talking about, you know, while she was going through a death of a child, she took Dwayne into her home. She treated him like a child. They talked about how he changed when he got into, got into the NBA. We heard her say that he had forged her signature at one point in time. The mom had forged the mom's signature. I don't know what that was about. They didn't go into detail about that. We heard her say that he tried to have her arrested one time. And, you know, and it makes sense because it comes from an abusive situation. And if you don't get help from an abusive situation, men oftentimes, when it comes to women being in a domestic violence situation, a lot of the times, if you don't get help, you'll find another man that's just abusive, or you will take a lot of stuff out on yourself and even your children at certain point in times. And men, however, when they are have lived through such a horrific childhood as Dwyane Wade evidently lived through, and if he didn't get help, it makes sense why he is now treating his his then wife and his now ex-wife the way that he was treating her, as well as the mom's family. Do you see what I'm saying? But God don't like ugly. That's all I got to say about that. But anyway, let me do part 3 of here's another part 3 of the interview. It gets deeper. The rabbit hole gets deeper. But let me read this. Klaus said you can hear in her voice that she's a God-fearing woman who still has love for Wade. I agree, Klaus, but she's reached her breaking point. She's been hurt and betrayed by him. You're absolutely right. And remember, the press tried to paint her as crazy. The media tried to make it seem like his wife, Siobhan, when they was going through a divorce and he was trying to get custody of the kids, he wasn't. Now, I ain't going to skip that part, but this lady clearly is not crazy. Yes, she is hurt. You see what I'm saying? She is broken. They can't believe. I'm sure the mama can't even believe that he ended up treating her this way. And she took him in when she didn't have to. She took him in her home after her child had died, and she treated him just like one of her kids, even to the point to where he is still now in her will. She clearly didn't want nothing from him. They can't say that his ex-wife or her mama was gold digging, cause she said Shaq asked her, was he gonna buy her a house? And she said no. She got her house. She ain't moving out of her house, and she ain't quitting her job. Okay, so clearly they weren't trying to go dig off of this man or live off of this man. Do you see what I'm saying? But honey, and there's also another quote that says, money doesn't build character, it reveals character. And I'm thinking when he got this money, he started showing who he really was to these people, the abusive a-hole that he really was. Now let me cue up we're on part 3 of the Siobhan Wade, ex-wife of Dwyane Wade interview. Okay. And like I said, this interview is in depth and it is broken up into several parts. So this is part 3 of that interview. So let me cue it up for you guys. And please hit the like button if you haven't. Consider hitting that super chat, Cash App, PayPal, all of that. We got a good stream going this morning. This is a long stream, but let me cue up part 3 and we'll just go ahead on with it. So this is part 3.
Talking to Siobhan Wade. Now, So when you were in Miami and you was going through all that turmoil and all that distress, you had plenty of friends, didn't you? I mean, the other basketball wives, you weren't really connected, or did you have any friends in Miami? Or?
I mean, I did. I at least thought I had a lot of friends, more friends than somebody could count.
Oh, let me pause it for a minute. Cloud, if you're still in here, or Brandy, it's somebody named Tabitha Rand. Could you please hit the get them out of here. Get them out of my chat, okay? Because this ain't that type of chat. Please get them out of my chat. And good morning, everybody, if you're just entering the room, okay? Cloud, let me know if you got this Tabitha Rand or Brandy out of my chat. Good morning, Lady Tia. Good morning, everybody. Anyway, this is part 3 of the interview, okay? Oh, wow, Siobhan saw it. Yeah, she saw it coming. Thank you, Cloud, because I can't get them out myself because I'm using my phone to play the interview. Thank you, Cloud. Get that Tabitha Rand out of my chat. Yeah, block them. Cloud blocked them already. Okay, thank you, Brandy. But anyway, guys, here's some more of Siobhan Wade interviewing. This is part 3 of the interview. Hold on, let's continue.
And would your friends come back and tell you something they were saying that Dwayne was doing?
Yeah, they definitely would.
And your reactions would be?
I would be hurt. I would be angry sometimes. Disappointed.
Were you two violent with one another?
Has it ever gotten physical?
Yes.
Yes, it has.
And I have a report here in October 2006 that you actually went to the hospital and you were pregnant.
Yes, I was pregnant with Zion.
And you admitted having abdominal pain.
Yes.
Can you tell me?
Now, mind y'all, let me pause it right here a minute. This is Siobhan Wade, Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, Zion's mother, and she is getting ready to talk about an abusive situation that happened, a physically abusive domestic violence situation that Dwyane Wade inflicted upon her while she was pregnant with Zion, the very son that he is, brought out the closet to the world, saying Zion want to be a girl and I feel like you're a girl on the inside and all this and all that. This is her talking about what happened to her, what Dwyane Wade did to her while she was pregnant with Zion, while Zion was still in her stomach. Okay, let's continue.
What happened here?
Well, shortly before being hospitalized, I was in Florida and I woke up in the middle of the night because I was sick, obviously with the pregnancy. And I noticed that Mr. Wade wasn't in the house. And so I was calling him because it was probably like, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we went to bed together, which means he must have gotten up out of the bed and just left in the middle of the night without telling me. And so I was looking for him. I looked around the house. I was calling his phone. He didn't answer. He finally got back several hours later. It was well into the next day, and I was very upset. I was angry. I was, asking him where was he and why did he just leave without saying anything.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, I was his wife. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
And his response to me was first being verbally abusive. He was cursing. He was calling me names. He was telling me shut the F up. Women talk too effing much, and I need to know my place and things like that. And then that made me more angry. That made me say, what is he talking? Women need to know their place, and why is he speaking to me like that? And then it turned into physical violence. He picked me up and held me over his head, literally in midair, and threw me down in our bathroom.
While you were pregnant?
Yes.
And I just want to make sure you clarify. He knew you were carrying a child.
I'm not sure what he knew, but we had Zion on purpose. We planned that pregnancy.
So that's what I'm saying. So he knew you were with child.
Yes.
And he picked you up.
He picked me up, and he slammed me down. And we had an ottoman in the bathroom at that time, a piece of furniture in the center of our master bathroom. And he slammed me down so hard that when my back hit the ottoman, it broke into 4 pieces. And then my back and my head hit the concrete, the marble floor, in the bathroom. And then after that, I got up and I immediately went, there's a cordless phone in the bathroom. I immediately went to that phone and I was crying. I was hysterical, and I went to go call the police. And when I did that, I would say more hell broke loose. At that point, I suppose because he was in fear of being exposed, because I certainly was going to call the police. And I picked up the cordless phone. He snatched it out of my hand, and he threw the cordless phone against my body so hard that the phone literally broke into pieces.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am, unfortunately.
Was anyone there when it happened?
Yeah, there were a couple of people there. No one was inside of the master bathroom. Actually, when I tried to run out of the bathroom, he came and with his body barricaded the door. Then he reached behind him and locked the door and stood with his body in front of it so that I couldn't leave the bathroom. So the only thing I could do was scream. At that time he had a gun in the house. And I was very afraid because the gun was in the closet. And we were right there by that closet, and him being so violent, I became very desperate to get out. I just remember thinking, I really need to get out of here. It's way beyond.
Honestly, at that point, do you really remember, as far as, when I say remember, as you're speaking to me, are you going back to that moment?
Yes, I am.
Did you really, honestly in your heart, feel as though that you were in fear for your life?
Absolutely. Without a question. I knew when he picked me up in the air like that, when the furniture broke in pieces, and the amount of force that he was using, I was even able to realize how physically strong he was at that moment. It was very scary. It was literally terrifying.
So when the phone was broken, how did you get out of the house?
I was screaming and then eventually there were other people in the house, and he had a male cousin that came to the door. And I don't know if he came in the door, busted in the door, or how he got in, but I know that the door eventually got open and I was able to get out. And from there, I left the house. I left Miami.
And you went where?
I went to my mom. I went to my mom in Chicago.
Because this is where you felt safe.
Yes.
And this is where you actually checked the hospital.
Yeah, when I went to my mom's house, I didn't want to say anything to anybody else just because of the threats that he was making when I said I was going to call the police. So I went and I told my mom what had happened, and that same day, right when I got into her house, thank God I at least got in her care by that time. I literally fainted. And so my mom was picking me up off the kitchen floor, and she drove me to Christ Hospital.
As I read this report, it says that you had abdominal pain. You were complaining about that. Nowhere in here does it mention that you and your husband were actually physically fighting. That he actually threw you down, threw a phone at you, and broke it on you. Why didn't you tell anybody?
At that time, I knew in my mind that was going to make it way worse.
Siobhan, did you confide in anyone other than your mother that Dwayne was physically abusive to you?
A pastor at that time.
And what did he direct you to do at that point?
He prayed. He was more focused on, he gave me more advice for myself. He was saying that to make sure that I take care of myself because I had a son, and to make sure that I stayed strong. He didn't so much address whether I should stay married to him or not, and whether we should get counseling or anything like that. He was just more focused on me not allowing what had happened and what had been happening to destroy me, because I had a life and I had a son to raise.
Do you feel like, Siobhan, that you gave up your dreams to support Dwayne's dreams?
I absolutely did.
Were you lost in that life?
Yes, I was. I was, at that point in time, I would say, a basketball wife. I was married to him, the sport, the lifestyle, and I lost myself in all of that. I lost who I was. People wouldn't even address me anymore by my name. I wasn't even Siobhan anymore. I just became Dwyane Wade's wife, and I just lost myself. After all of this happened, I remember asking myself, now what did I like to do? I had to ask myself, what was I doing before the draft? And I had to sit and ask myself sincerely, what were my dreams? What did I plan to do? If this would have never happened, or he never would have went to the NBA, what exactly was I doing before this happened to us, before he was drafted, before all this money came into the picture, before fame was an issue? And I had to, with God's leading, find myself again, find who I was and my identity all over. Were women actually disrespectful to you, Siobhan? Openly disrespectful to you when you were back to Dwayne? Yes, they were. Some women were just very, very nasty. Probably the worst, one of the worst ones, just openly and in my face. There was a woman who taken off her panties. And while I was walking with Mr. Wade at that time, she'd taken off her panties and walked over to us. And she made this disgusting, vulgar comment. And she had her panties in her hand. And when I was saying to him, just keep walking, she threw them. And so she literally threw them towards us. And that was right while I was walking beside him. Through all this turmoil and what all you were going through down in Miami, did you still have hope that it would work between you all before you all officially separated? Well, before I, got into the lifestyle and lost who I was and even, did things that I later regretted doing, I was always a woman of faith. I was always somebody who believed in God. And so I certainly had faith, and I knew this. If I got into that lifestyle and I made some changes for the worse and God turned me around, I believe that he could be turned around. And that was really where my hope was in, where people can say, well, he's behaving to this magnitude. What makes you still have hope? It was that, I wasn't perfect. And God, he helped me, he restored me, he changed me. And so I was thinking, of course, with God's help, not anything in his own strength, that, there was hope for him. And then with that, there was hope for the family. Siobhan, does money truly buy you respect? Not respect, not happiness. No, it doesn't. What did it buy you? Well, I afforded a lot more problems. I can certainly tell you that. Did you have a lot of yes ma'am and yes sir people around you? We had to jump. How high would you like us to jump people? We were surrounded with them. And at that time when you were surrounded, you couldn't see that they was only around you because of what you all had. Oh no, I was completely blinded. I was flattered. I was just completely blind. I thought that they were all my friends. I was certain that they all loved me. Not too many places I would go that they didn't go with me, of course, at my expense. And so I thought honestly that they were my friends. I was completely blinded. You mentioned to me in the past that you've heard Dwayne literally at the top of his lungs scream, "Everybody loves me." Do you honestly believe with the fortune and fame that he has now and then that he truly believes everybody loves him? I'm not certain about what he believes, and I don't know if that's as important as the truth. And the truth is, I know that everybody doesn't. I mean, even Jesus was crucified. He was Christ. They crucified him. So I'm very certain that none of us here on the face of the earth just have it where everybody just loves and adores us truly. That's just not the case. That's not the case. Not at all. Well, we're going to talk more about a lot of different cases, and I also want to bring out your last standing friend when we get back from the break. We'll be back with more Real Talk with Kietta.
Okay. So that was segment 3. You just heard her talking about the domestic violence that she had to go through when she was with Dwyane Wade. Somebody asked, did I believe her? Yes, I absolutely believe her. The number one reason why I believe her is because she didn't at the time report it to the authorities. She just left the house and she went to live with her mother. That is very common. Okay. She talked about losing herself, giving up her dreams for his dreams. When they finally broke up, she didn't know who she was. That is also very common when it comes to domestic violence victims. And we know a lot of women in general will give up who they are in an effort to have their man's back. This is very common. I absolutely believe her. She don't have no reason to lie at this point in time. Now, mind you, she giving this interview in 2012 after divorce, after all that stuff she done went through, after they done trying to paint her as a crazy woman in the press. She don't have nothing to lose at this point, and she just want to get her story out there. So I absolutely believe her. And thank you, Cloud, for saying domestic violence is nothing to joke about. This is the easiest way to get blocked by me. I stand by this 110%. Thank you, Cloud. I saw a joke, and if you want to block them, okay? Because I saw it too. And if I could have blocked them at that time, I would have blocked them, okay? And so, yeah. And we also talked about how they disrespected her. A lot of people was in her face, like they was her best friend, because he was the toast of the town at the time, and she had all the money. And of course, people are going to want to come around you when you got money, but ain't nobody your real friend. So we're going to go on to the second part of the interview. Like I told you guys at the top of this video, that this is a long interview. Do you see what I'm saying? And good morning, everybody. If you're just now coming in, good morning, Brenda, Lady Tia. Good morning, everybody. Making it work for me, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining me. I think I saw Scorpio. I saw y'all. I can't say everybody's name, but thank you guys so much for joining Short and Sassy. Everybody, thank y'all. Empress Deidre, Miss Enlightened One. Everybody, thank y'all for joining me, okay? Lady T, I don't know if I said that. But anyway, we're going to go on to part 4 of the interview. Like I said, this is a very long interview. This is a very long video. But I have to stop between switching to explain what was going on in domestic violence. A lot of domestic violence situations go unreported, especially when you are dealing with a man with money, okay? And she really loved and while you're going through the domestic violence, you still thinking you in love with this man. You still think that you want to support this man. You still don't want this man to go to jail. And you can hear in her voice that she still had hope for him. She was still praying for him. She truly loved him. Not only her, but her mom, and I'm sure her whole family loved him. And she just could not believe that this money has changed him this way. But the thing is, what she don't understand is the money didn't change him. The money, if I was that interview, I would tell her, Siobhan, the money didn't change him. It just allowed him to be who he really is. Because what he say, a woman should stay in her place and all of this and all that. And he slammed her down. Oh, and I also want to say before we go on to segment 4, she was pregnant with Zion, the one that thinks that he wants to be a girl or whatever. She was pregnant, going through all this trauma of the domestic violence, physical, emotional, domestic violence. Verbal domestic violence. This causes trauma, and when you are going through in the midst of a pregnancy, do you see what I'm saying? You don't need this type of trauma into your life, because this type of trauma and stress is going to be passed down to your child. It is by the grace of God that Zion is here today. Okay, but ain't no telling what kind of chemical imbalance that this little boy may have because of the domestic violence that he was a part of. Because when you commit domestic violence on a pregnant woman, you are also committing domestic violence on that unborn child. Okay, this child can have a chemical imbalance due to domestic violence that he that happened to him while he was in his mama's stomach. This could be the reason why Zion is thinking that he is a girl on the inside. Okay, so all of this, like I said, yes, no wonder she didn't miscarry him. He slammed her down and then slammed the phone up against her. And if it wasn't for somebody being in the house, I don't tell him what he would have did, because he had clicked out of reality. He was in full-blown domestic violence mode. He was doing the same thing that he saw be done to his mama and him when he was a child. Okay, because he never got help or therapy, because he is a domestic violence survivor himself. He never got help for this. And like I said, a lot of times when men are hurt, they will go on to hurt other people. Okay, and so anyway, let me go on and do number 4. This is another part of the interview. We are moving forward. I said Wade was a great player earlier in his career, 2004, 2008. By the time LeBron came to Miami, he was injured and half the player he once was. Okay, yeah. So by the time LeBron came along, he was, you know, he was not as good as he was. That could have a part in it too, Claude. Like, I don't know the timeline, but yeah, you know what I mean? Lady Tia said facts, the baby can hear and feel everything. Yes, right, even in the womb. Whatever happened to you, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, the baby, your unborn child is a part of that. Do you see what I'm saying? It is a part of that. Everything happened to you while you're pregnant with that child is happening to that baby that's in your stomach too. So now a lot of stuff, like I said, is starting to make sense. Why Zion, you know, may think that he's a girl on the inside. He could have a chemical imbalance caused by the trauma that was inflicted on his mom and him when he was in his mama's stomach. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, this is just a theory. I'm saying that this thing can happen, okay? And so, yeah, anyway, let's go on to number 4. Here's another part of the interview. Now, at some point in this interview, you're going to be hearing a teacher of Zion, a teacher. I guess she was like a private school teacher or maybe a tutor. At some point in time, you're going to hear her voice. When her voice comes up, I'll pause it and let you know when you're hearing the voice of this teacher that interacted with Siobhan and her kids while Siobhan still had custody of her kids. So let's start number 4. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. You know the ads, we're gonna let them play out, but you know how they go. Forgive the ad. Here we go.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Kietta. We're sitting here with Siobhan Wade, ex-wife of Dwyane Wade, and her friend Najee, the last friend standing. Because basically, Siobhan, the people that you thought were your friends, when you are
okay, let me pause. You're gonna in this video, in this clip, you're gonna be hearing the interviewer, Siobhan Wade, and Siobhan Wade's friend. Okay, so here we go.
When you started to go through your turmoils and start breaking up,
y'all hit the like button.
To those people that you thought were your friends, I realized they weren't. They all went away. No more phone calls. You know, and I wasn't the one on the red carpet or going to the mall or flying in private planes. None of them wanted to be around me. That was it. I lost every friend I had except for one. Because she always was your true friend. Yes, and when my Cadillac truck broke down and I literally had to walk with me and my children. I'm sorry. This was in Miami. This was here in Chicago. In Chicago. Your car broke down. Yes, it did. And you had to walk because I don't understand this. I wasn't receiving enough funds to be able to just go and trade the car in or otherwise purchase another one. Did you receive child support from Dwayne? 3 months out of this entire time, and that's it. So I'm here in Chicago, and I actually came to court where Siobhan had a court hearing today. And I must tell you, honestly, seriously, this was like the most chaotic scene that I have ever witnessed. Dwyane Wade's attorney, Mr. Predicate, he would not answer any questions because I did ask him, was he trying to continue to delay the trial because Dwayne's book is coming out? Of course, he read for me. It was good because I needed some exercise. But at the same time, I could not believe he wouldn't answer any questions for me. And I said, well, what were you all coming here to try to resolve today? Well, I haven't saw my children in 3 weeks. Last time I saw them was August 3rd. So the motion today was about your children, seeing your children? That was one of them, yes. Okay. I was supposed to be reimbursed for travel expenses. Okay. So I'm able to. Right now, I'm not in a financial position to make a fortune. But he was court ordered to do that, right? Yes, ma'am, he was. Okay. And so the judge, again, there was no resolve on that today. How do you feel coming to court today, Bob? I feel that I came out again without justice. And I feel that what's being done to me, is affecting my children. And that makes me feel awful. Because now, it's not just that I haven't saw my children. Because they haven't saw their mother for 3 weeks now. And for the last 3 weeks, I've had the worst time even being able to have a conversation with them. Well, as a mother, anytime you don't know where your children's well-being, how their well-being is, and you don't know where they are, you can't speak to them. That constitutes an emergency. Would you agree? Yes, ma'am, I do agree. Yes, especially when you have children as small as I do, 10 years old and 5 years old. They're not understanding. Excuse me, why they can't see their mom. That's definitely an emergency. Well, let me say this, and I want your children not ever watching, know that your mother is doing everything she can do to actually get you back into see you. Other than that, I use my savings.
Okay, let me pause it. Now, when it was a few seconds ago, you heard the interviewer broke away, and when she broke away, she was standing in front of the courthouse with Siobhan Wade, and she was explaining they went to court. They had to go to court because Siobhan hadn't seen her kids in 3 weeks. Dwayne hadn't let her see her kids in 3 weeks. Okay, so they was at court trying to figure it out, and she went to, the interviewer went to court with Siobhan, and that is why the sound got funny. Now she's getting ready to break away, and now she's back at her house and she's talking to Siobhan again. But she went to court with her because she hadn't seen her kids. Okay, and sometimes when you have a custody issue going on like this, and Dwayne clearly has the upper hand, they will keep your kids away from you in order to hurt you. It ain't even because they love their kids so much. It's because they want to hurt you. Okay, this is also another domestic violence tactic. I have heard cases of men actually killing the child and not killing the mother. Okay, because they wanted to hurt the mother. They want to see the mother suffer, to no ends. So they would kill the child so that he can watch the mama suffer. Okay, now I feel like at this point in time, this woman is going to court. She's trying to see her kids. I feel like Dwayne won't let her see her kids at this time for 3 weeks because he's trying to make her suffer. They're going through the divorce. They're going through a custody hearing. Okay, it's just real basic level, dirty, low down, dog stuff that domestic violence uses. These tactics they will use in order to hurt a woman. Okay, so he's clearly using her kids against her. Now, let's not forget, at this point in time, in this interview in 2012, when they're going through the divorce hearing, though, prior to this interview, he's with Gabrielle Union the whole time. So he got all these high-powered lawyers with him. He got the NBA players. I mean, the NBA, behind him. Who Siobhan got? Do you see what I'm saying? Who is Siobhan? He got all the power behind him. And that is why he is able to do these little, domestic violence situations, these passive-aggressive situations, playing with this woman about her kids, because they know no matter what, you love your kids. Okay? Now, like I said, this is why this whole thing about him doing this whole press tour about Zion, and his transgender issues, his sexuality issues, all of this is starting to come to fruition, because for a long time I couldn't figure out why in the world is he taking the 12-year-old on the press tour because he think he want to be a girl instead of having a boy in therapy. Why are you doing all this? You see what I'm saying? And yes, Gabrielle Union is whispering in his ear. You best believe, because I told you at the top of the show, they said she was a mean girl before she got married to him. And I'm not surprised that I ain't no telling what she was saying to him. You know what I mean? Because she was a side chick. Okay? And plus, he had a side chick when he was fooling with her, too. Okay? Yeah, that hurt me, too, Brenda, when Siobhan was, depicted as being crazy. This woman ain't crazy. This woman ain't crazy. This woman is a domestic violence victim. Okay? And it's pissing me off. But anyway, let's go on. This was back in 2012. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to get passionate about it, but I know what this looked like. Okay? I worked with domestic violence survivors for years. So I already know what's going on here. Okay? No, this woman is not telling no damn lie. Anyway, let's continue.
My family to support my children and myself. But why is it that he only paid child support for 3 months? And you all actually, the divorce was filed in 2008. Yes. So it was at least 3 years before he was awarded custody after your long custody battle. Why were you not receiving child support during that time? I'm not certain why. My attorneys filed for child support several times. Were you awarded it? I received child support for 3 months, and that was it. So no, I wasn't awarded child support. I wasn't awarded any back child support. I literally had to live off of my savings, and I'm still living off of my savings. Right now, I'm not in a position where I get enough money to even pay my own bills. I have a motion pending in court right now to pay back bills. What? Let
me pause right there for 1 minute. She is saying that it took him 3 years to gain full custody of the kids. The whole time she done had these kids, he has refusing to pay child support. Okay. Now, when you in a situation like this, you married to a man with money, and you going through something, and he's withholding funds to you, there's a term that is a form of abuse as well. It is called financial abuse. Okay. That is another branch on the tree of domestic violence. It's called financial abuse. Okay. So he's keeping our kids away from her when it's his time to visit. Okay. That's a form of abuse. He won't give her no money to pay her bill or take care of her kids, even though he been told to do child support. That is called financial abuse. Okay. So anyway, let's continue.
I just want to be clear. When you say you wasn't awarded, when the court did award you child support, is it that Dwayne hasn't paid, or that you were not granted child support? No, it's that the court didn't award it at all. It was the 3 months and nothing other than that. We asked for it several times, and the last time I asked for it, there was a delay. Mr. Wade had then asked for me to have to take a paternity test for Zion, our youngest son. And so that took a delay, and that slowed down the process for me. Okay, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry. Dwayne asked for a paternity test for your child. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. And how did that make you feel? Terrible. Angry. I felt the timing was...
Let me pause right here. So she said that Dwyane Wade asked for a paternity test to be given on Zion to prove that Zion is his son, the very son that is now outed to the world. Okay, he wanted a paternity test to prove that baby is his baby, and not to mention the fact that Zion's pregnancy. She said they planned to have Zion on purpose, but still he wanted a paternity test. That is another form of abuse. Let's continue.
Not a coincidence. I was constantly saying, I need funds to be able to support my children, at least for them. Not so much myself, spousal support, but just give me what these children need so that I can support them, because after you live on savings for so long, it dwindles down. Well, let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I'm just asking questions that I know that people want to know. I mean, there was some transcripts that showed someone testified against you, one of your so-called friends, who was an ex-friend, and actually said that you confided in her that you had affairs. So, if someone told Dwayne that, you don't think that he would have had doubt that that was the child? Well, she actually said that, I believe what she said was that the child was someone else's. She had said that. And so we did the paternity test, and obviously it's his son. But no, because we planned to have Zion. It was actually Mr. Wade's idea to extend the family. So it was on purpose. I stopped taking all birth control on purpose. We planned it. I went to the doctor to make sure that I was in health. I had began taking prenatal vitamins ahead of time and taking care of myself, consulting with obstetricians at that time. So I would think that it was crazy that he would go along with that. And also, this was the same person who had, at one time when she left our life, she had, began making rumors and accusations that Mr. Wade was treating her very badly, that he was being very oppressive to her, that he was gay, that he was doing things with his teammates, and she lived in our home. And I knew at that time the accusations she made weren't true. And so I know that I defended myself against her lies during the custody trial, but there was a time before the custody trial that Mr. Wade had to defend himself against her lies also. And so when he called on her to be a witness, I was thinking this is the same person that, outside of the courtroom was testifying against his own character. Nevertheless, he called her anyway. Najee, you were in Miami, because you all met in Miami. So you were there when Siobhan was going through what she was going through. And Siobhan, you also mentioned to me that Dwayne actually abandoned you all, you and your children, and the children didn't see him for 3 months. 3 months straight. Is that so he didn't see the children at all? Not for 3 months straight. Was it because he was in Chicago, or maybe he was playing games, or no, he was playing games? We were still in the house in Florida, the house that we lived in together while we were married. We didn't change addresses. We didn't change schools for the children. We were in the same place that we had been, while we were in Florida. But He disappeared for 3 months straight. You know, I did reach out or try to contact him. I would call, I would send text messages, I would have my oldest son call and leave his dad a voicemail. And you know, he would do things like he's coming or he's gonna come, and he wouldn't show up. So that was very hard because our younger son, he didn't know what was going on, but he was affected because by the time the 3 months passed and Mr. Wade decided to show back up in their life, he responded to Mr. Wade like a stranger. He would literally cry hysterically. You know, he was reaching out for the housekeeper to take him out of the arms of his own father because he did not know him. And then for the older child, it was disappointing and sad because there were times when he would wait, and anytime a car would come and turn around our cul-de-sac and he saw the lights, he was thinking, oh, Daddy came back, or he's coming. And the hour would go, and another hour would pass, and then eventually it was bedtime, and I would have to tell him, you know, you're going to have to go to sleep. And he's like, oh, his dad said he was coming. It was awful. It was terrible. So let me ask you this, and I'm not making no excuses for no man not seeing their children. Let's just be clear with that. But were you mean to Dwayne? Were you constantly arguing at him maybe? Do you think he maybe refrained from coming to the home because of he thought your reaction was going to be explosive? I mean, I'm just asking because...
Let me pause on here for a second. Yes, making it work for me. I remember that they were gay rumors put out against Dwyane Wade that said he was fooling around with some of his teammates as well as other people. I remember those rumors, and whoever said he didn't want them kids, he took them kids to hurt her. I believe that too. You're absolutely right about that. And I think Jessica said he used that his whole motive was to control and manipulate or something like that. Yeah, Jessica said his entire ammo was to control, manipulate, and break this woman down. He never wanted custody of them kids. He wanted to hurt her. I absolutely agree with that, Jessica. Okay, you are absolutely right, because we're dealing with a control issue. We're dealing with a domestic violence offender, and he was doing anything he could to hurt this woman, like she done something to him. Okay. And Claude said, if she were a different shade, the Me Too movement would have rallied around her. Absolutely right. We already know how this would have worked. Absolutely. If she was a different hue, if she was a Becky, this wouldn't have played out like this. Okay, because we see how they went after. Y'all remember when what's that guy? Tiger Woods was divorcing that Anglo woman. He was immediately put out there to be the bad guy in the situation. Okay, but we know that we have no protection in this world as black women. The only protection we have is ourselves. And somebody said they believe he may have paid her attorney not to do what she was supposed to do. I absolutely agree with that. Okay, I absolutely agree with what y'all saying about that too. Anyway, let's continue this little segment of the interview. Okay. And so yeah, y'all hit the like button. Thanks, Cloud, for still being here, and Brandy, if you still here. Anyway, let's continue this little part of the interview. Okay, I just had to pause and say that. Now, mind you, at the she also said that Zion didn't know who he was at first because he never seen him. But the older boy, Zaire, you know, used to want his daddy. His dad used to tell him he was coming and he would never come. Now, this is before Dwyane Wade got full custody of his children. Okay? All this was going on. But you love your kids so much. But Zion don't know who you is, the baby. And then Zaire, you lied to him telling you coming, and he looking for you, and you don't never show up. And he hadn't seen them for months and months, you know, at certain point in times. Ain't that something? Anyway, let's continue.
Did he give you a valid reason as to why he didn't come to your children for 3 months? Oh no, when I tried to find out what his reasoning was, I was told don't ask him any MF questions. He's a grown man, shut the F up. That never went well. To the point where I just stopped. I stopped asking and stopped trying to figure it out. But as to whether there was anything that I did, no, it wasn't. I was very, very broken. I wasn't in a position. I didn't have the strength to fight like that. Every bit of strength I had, I fought for myself to stay stable and in a condition and in a place where I could take care of my children and console them when I needed to, because both of them were very broken also. So I didn't have the strength or the energy to fight or curse or yell. I was literally broken. So you didn't yell when you found out he was going to Gabrielle? No, I didn't. Yelling wasn't my reaction. Do you consider Gabrielle Union to be a whore? I don't consider Gabrielle Union at all. Okay. Najee, I'm going to ask you this question. You were there. And I'm going to read something. And I just want to see what you all have to say. An article in April of Jet Magazine, Gabrielle Union actually spoke. She actually said that, I'm quoting her, the question was asked, how does she feel about the mean things her fans and other women say about her? I'm quoting her. She says, I think people mistook me taking the high road as an admission of guilt. Dwayne and I made a decision very early to not react to negativity. And I keep feeling like the truth will come out. The problem is, when it did, nobody cared. What I discovered on social media is that people don't really read the entire story. Najee, I'm asking you, you're her friend. You were there. I'm asking you, what happened? What is the truth? What's the story?
I saw a family being divided. I not only see a wife that lost a husband, but children that lost their father.
Separated and divorced are two different things. I'm not certain, when it happened or when she happened, but I know that I was very married. I know that, me and Dwayne at that time had talks about reconciliation. We went back and forth. I was still even intimate sometimes with my then husband. So does that constitute, sleeping or having an affair with somebody's husband? Yes, I'm not certain. To me, divorce and separation are always two different things. That's just the way that I was raised. And if that's the high road, I'm going to consider whether I should take it or not.
Well, I want to ask you this, and it's up to you if you want to, how you want to ask it. So let me ask you this. It was in the media that Dwayne and Gabrielle, your husband, was in the media with this woman, and they were parading around town as a couple. And for years, I've never seen you do an interview discussing that matter. I've never read any transcripts or never read any comments that you made pertaining to Dwayne and Gabrielle, even though you were still married to him. What will cause you years later to actually file a lawsuit against her?
Because the lawsuit wasn't about any relationship that the two of them may have, or had, whether it was while we were married, during, or after. The lawsuit was about her having a negative effect on my children. That's what that lawsuit was about. And when her behavior and the things she did and said began to affect my sons, that's when I opened my mouth and did something about it.
Najee, you were there with Siobhan.
Let me pause right there. Did y'all hear her say that she sued Gabrielle Union because the way that she was acting around her kids was causing a negative effect on her children? Okay, that spoke volumes to me when it comes to Zion and Gabrielle Union being the first one to tell the world that Zion was gay. She told the world that he was gay when he was 11 years old, when she took him to that gay pride parade. Okay, so his mom, his birth mom, Siobhan, is saying she sued Gabrielle Union because of the way that she was acting around her, her children. The birth mother sued Gabrielle Union. I was like, wow, okay, that's speaking volumes. Now things are starting to come into play. Now we're starting to figure out why all of this press tour is going on with the Dwyane Wade, letting everybody know, that his son, thinks he's a girl on the inside and all of this and all that, right? So she actually sued Gabrielle Union because of the way she was acting around her kids, and it was causing a negative effect on her. So it will make you think, Gabrielle Union have been lobbying, supposedly behind him. This is Zion's choice that he gave. Now, mind you, this boy ain't up but 12 years old. Ain't no telling what she been feeding to that little boy since he been a little boy. And in my opinion, this is also a form of abuse. Okay? This is also a form of abuse. Now, this whole thing with Zion is starting to make sense for me because, like I said, And somebody said that Gabrielle Union did say that she used to toss Dwyane Wade salad. Okay, I remember when she had that conversation. And somebody also said earlier that he was living vicarious through his, gay son. Do you see what I'm saying? And I told y'all when I first heard about this story, this don't sound like nothing but abuse. Because why would you parade your son around to the world, letting everybody know that he think your girl on the inside and he think he gay? He don't know what he is at 12 years old. But who knows what Gabrielle and Dwyane Wade have been doing to these kids mentally and physically. Okay? So anyway, let's continue.
You witnessed what she was going through. You witnessed that she was quiet.
This is the friend talking.
You told me that a lot of stuff you didn't say out of fear. How did you confide? First of all, what was her mindset? How did she make it through? And how were you being a good friend to her during these tumultuous times?
It was not easy. The little strength that she had to share between carrying on herself and being a mother was lying in Zaire. And not only a mother, but she became a father at the same time for both of them.
Wow.
Because of the absence of their own father.
So Dwayne wasn't coming around to see them that much?
No. She will make out of her own to go see games, to try to make him see the children in the parking lot after he would come out. I remember at one occasion, he stopped and Zaire hold him and asked him, "Dad, can I go with you?" And he said no. And he said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I'm going to go to sleep in a park, in a bench park." And he said, "Well, I'll go with you over there, Dad." And he said, "No, I don't want you to come with me." And the whole time going back to the house and even to the next day, he was crying because of that response from his dad.
Siobhan, during your custody battle with your ex-husband,
wow, did y'all hear that? So that is Siobhan's friend talking to the interviewer, and she was telling of one story. She was saying that Siobhan would have to go to the games so that the boys could see their dad. She said she would take the kids out to the parking lot. Now, on one of these incidents when she took Zaire and Zion out to the parking lot to meet their dad, Zaire, the oldest son, asked if he could go with the daddy, and the daddy said, "No, you can't go with me, son, because I'm going to sleep on a park bench in a park." Okay, making it seem like, really what he was, he was throwing shade at the mama, like she trying to take me for all my money. And the boy asked him, can he go with him anyway? And he said no. Okay, so at this point in time, he doesn't have custody, and he's not even trying to make an effort to see his children. And that is what the friend is trying to explain. But she also has a thick accent, so I want to interrupt and explain to you guys what she said. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, so let's continue.
Phyllis Amable, who is a board-certified psychiatrist and forensic psychiatrist appointed by the court as an expert on custody and visitation. She also is an attorney as well. She has some good attributes to say about you and Dwayne, okay? Nobody's perfect, I realize that. For you, she describes your bond as unbelievable and you were very attached. She said that your strengths are...
Let me pause right here. At this point in time, this lady, the interviewer, is reading a court document. This is what the forensic psychologist during the custody battle had to say about Siobhan and Dwyane Wade. And when you bring in a forensic psychologist or therapist to evaluate both of the people during the custody battle, it is to determine it's for the court to try to decide what parent should remain in sole custody of the kids, who should have primary custody of the children. And she's reading off a piece of paper in the interview, and this is what the lady that was brought in to interview them to see who would better be suited to have primary custody of the kids. Okay, so let me finish. And she's reading off a piece of paper. I just want to tell you guys that.
You're loving, you're affectionate, you're consistent, and you're predictable. Now, as far as for Dwayne, she also found it that he demonstrated patience,
empathy, and sincere love for his children. Now, my question to you is, after reading this transcript, which I read, this is where I'm getting this information from, in 2010, Dr. Amabile actually said in her report that she feels as though that if joint custody was awarded, that you should be the residential custodial parent. She also was appointed by the judge to do a supplemental evaluation, psychiatric evaluation of both you and Dwayne. And it was asked of her, if sole custody had to be given, which parent should receive sole custody? And again, she stated that it should be you. Can you explain to me why a court-appointed forensic psychiatrist said these things, yet you do not have custody of your children?
I'm not sure why that happened, or how that came about. You know, she was obviously a very credible witness. She was a court-appointed.
So she was the court-appointed witness. So this was not your witness or Dwayne's witness. This was a court-appointed witness from the court. I mean, what happened, Siobhan? Do you know?
Honestly, what my opinion is, and what I believe happened, is Mr. Wade had the fame and the money, the fame and the fortune. You know, that wasn't just her. There was the school administrator came in to testify.
During the custody battle between Siobhan.
Okay, y'all gonna hear a different voice, and this is the interviewer is now talking to a teacher of Zion, I believe. Okay, she was actually in the home interacting with the children, and is this portion, this voice this is the teacher that the interviewer is talking to. Okay, she's broken away to talk to the teacher, and I just want you guys know to be aware of the voice change. And here we go.
And her ex-husband Dwayne, were you actually deposed by the court to give an account of what you knew about the situation?
Yes, I was.
Why?
I'm not exactly sure why. You know, they asked me things like, what type of a parent was she? You know, different things. I witnessed her interaction with her children. They asked me things about Najee and her relationship with the children, and you know how I felt she dealt with the children, those types of things.
I'm going to ask you this, Mrs. Artist, and I don't, please, for whatever reason, don't think I'm being disrespectful or I'm demeaning your professionalism. But I want to ask you an honest question. As a Christian, as a professional, and as a mother, how do you honestly view Siobhan Wade as a parent to those boys?
I view Siobhan Wade as a loving mother who only wants the best for her children. And she's displayed that numerous times on numerous occasions. I watch the interaction between her and the children. I see the love there. Yeah, I see the respect for her there. And I just think she wants what's best for her children, as any mother would.
Yes. I also want to ask you, you say you interacted with the children, the boys, outside of the classroom. How did you interact with them at home with the boys?
Well, sometimes as the relationship between us grew, I had occasion sometimes to be at the house. And I would be there, kind of help out a little bit, watching them sometimes. And sometimes I would go upstairs with Zion. Zion is a lovely little fellow. He loves to share and show you things. And so he wanted to show me his bedroom and explore in there. And when we got up there, I noticed he had a library. And most of his library books were on dinosaurs. And so I found out he has a real fascination with dinosaurs.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
To be that young and that interested in
loves
something.
the dinosaurs, and he's very knowledgeable on them. He can name every dinosaur. And he would say to me, Miss Olivia, don't you know what this is? And then he would tell me what the dinosaur was. We would stay in there and I would read to him out of the book. And, you know, sometimes he knew the book. And he would tell me what was going to happen in advance before we got to it. And we would just enjoy each other.
Mrs. Adams, I know sometimes people may think that you have a vested interest in what you're saying.
Sure.
The reason why I was asking you before as a professional, because I know you have to take your personal feelings aside. If you, like you're saying, you love those children too, obviously, you want what's best for the children as well. Yeah. Because it's not about this person or that person or who you like the most. It's what's best for the children.
Exactly.
And how do you honestly feel, if you don't mind sharing with me, about Siobhan no longer having custody of her children?
Well, I wasn't too happy to hear the outcome of the custody case. I know those children love their mother, and I know she does the best she can with them. I know they want to be with her.
How do you know?
Well, I just see the interaction between them. And when you have children, children let you know what's going on. And so they would talk about their mother. Zion's little eyes would light up when he talked about his mother. When she would show up at the school or show up at the house, he would just get so excited. So you can see the love that's there. So, I just know that they love their mother.
Well, can I ask you another question? And again, if you're comfortable with stating this. You see how you said how they light up with their mother?
Yes.
Have you ever seen them that way about their father?
Well, I didn't have that much interaction with their father.
Okay.
It was very limited.
Okay.
The occasions I had to be in his presence. Sometimes it was when he dropped the kids off. Sometimes it was when he picked the kids up.
Okay.
But the interviews were so brief and short. I really can't give a good opinion as to the interaction between them.
Okay. Have you ever sat down after the custody decision from the court and tried, because I know you can, but try to imagine how Siobhan must feel right now?
Yes. I can imagine that she's very, very torn and she's very hurt. And I know her heart is hurting for her children. It's not a good feeling when children leave their parents home. And so I know that she's hurting very deeply for her children. And I know that she's praying, that someday she'll be able to have them back in the home.
As a teacher, you have witnessed other children, random children that you can tell don't have a nice home life.
Sure.
Did you feel that way about those children?
No, not at all. Like I said, I had occasion to be at the house. So I witnessed a lot of things that went on at the house. And so, she provides a good, stable home for them, and she does a lot of things with them. I had occasion to be at a little birthday party for Zion recently. And she had went out of her way to surprise them with a gift. And when they realized what she had done, they just lit up so. And they were out there in the backyard romping and just having a good time. And you could see the look on her face, the pleasure that she was pleasing her children like that. So there's a lot of love there.
Well, and I want to be honest with you with the questions I ask, because I want to be fair and balanced, because this is what this is about.
Sure.
But the accusations that were made that Siobhan is mentally unstable, do you agree with that?
I don't agree with it because, to my knowledge, I've never seen anything that would indicate that her behavior, she has that type of behavior. I've only seen, a caring Christian part of her. So no, I'm not in agreement with it because I've never seen that.
Did it upset you when you heard that?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
What actually impressed you the most about the children?
Well, they're very good kids, and they're very happy, and they're very content. And, that comes from having a good, stable home life. And they do little things that make me laugh and smile a lot. I can recall one incident. We were in the car headed home, and Dwyane had a book in the car. And I was talking to him about the book, and I just happened to say, I said, "What is your favorite book?" And he said, "You really want to know, Miss Arby?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "It's the Bible." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, tell me a little bit about it." I said, "What's your favorite story in the Bible?" He said, "It's Joseph." I said, "So you know the story of Joseph?" Just kidding with him. And he said, "Of course I do. It's my favorite story." I said, "Well, tell me a little bit about it." So he started to tell me about the story of Joseph.
Wow.
And he knew the story. And I was very impressed with that. So he had a birthday that was coming up in the future. And I said, "Well, if he's that taken with Joseph, I'm going to surprise him with something about Joseph. So for his birthday, I gave him a video of the story of Joseph, and he thanked me for it. He was so happy about it.
I thank you for that too. I do, and I think it's so important, and it's awesome that children are reading, because sometimes children. Some parents can't afford to take their children out of town or to different countries or whatever, but traveling through a book.
Yes.
A lot of times. I used to be a teacher myself, so I can see the passion in your eyes, and that's why I respect that so much. Do you miss them, Miss Artist?
I miss them so much. Yes, I do. And whenever I talk to Miss Wade, I tell her, tell them hello for me. Tell them I'm thinking about them. I love them. Yes, I love them very, very much.
And I'm sure they love you too. What do you wish, as far as any resolve from this matter with the children, and Siobhan and Dwayne?
Well, I would like to see them placed back with their mother. I just think that they're at a very young, tender age. And I'm sure their father loves them very much. But when you're that young and impressionable, I think maybe your mother can provide a little bit more of what you need until you get a little older. And so I would love to see them given back to their mother. And I know that that's what she wants. I know she's praying that that'll happen one day.
Well, Miss Artist, it's so commendable of you to love those boys, take out time with them, and want what's best for them. But you are going to be, some people may perceive this as you're siding with Siobhan because you have a more personal relationship with her. And lastly, your thoughts, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I don't believe that I'm siding with her. I'm giving you my genuine, honest opinion. And I just think that because they are so young right now, I just think that they may, do better in the care of their mother. Like I said earlier, I'm sure their father loves them very much. I'm sure he does. But I just think that, he may be able to provide some things that he can't right now.
Like time.
Exactly. And then, there are some things that, only a mother can fix. When there's problems going on with your children, or they're upset about something, and they, that little mother touch is something special. And so, for that, I just think that, I would love to see them back in her care.
Well, Miss Artist, thank you so much for, listen, you're so pretty, okay? And I enjoyed you so much. And I'm sure that because you're a mother as well.
Yes.
Your children are lucky and blessed to have a wonderful, caring, honest, genuine mother like you. And I'm so glad that you were able to be in the boys' lives. And I'm sure that they remember you. And I know one day that you'll be seeing them again real soon.
Yes, I'm praying for that.
Thank you, Miss Artist.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is the end of part 4 of the interview. Before we go to the next part of the interview, I just want to unpack. We got through her, and the last voice that you heard was a teacher of the kids. She was saying that the courts called her to testify, as to Siobhan's, I guess, mental state and her ability to mother. She said that she didn't understand why the court would take away such a loving mother, give custody to Dwyane Wade, over having custody of the mother. And I agree with Cloud when Cloud said, but they're gonna talk about that too. But Cloud said, by the way, his constant travel as an analyst for TNT and the NBA network should have been a deterrent for giving Wade sole custody. You're absolutely right about that, Cloud. But because he spent so much time out of the home, that is leaving Gabrielle Union there with Siobhan's kids, Siobhan and Dwyane Wade's kids. So she has more contact with the children than the mother. Now, the mother does have some visitation, but Dwyane Wade was given sole custody. Okay, and we heard earlier in the interview that the court-appointed therapist, recommended that the children be given to the mother, for the mother to have primary custody. Okay, and if he's got all this going on in his life, how does he have time to properly care for his children. I think he took them kids away from that woman. And it was very shady how he did it. And she's going to explain how it was done. And my mouth was wide open, y'all. But I am not surprised because, like I said, when you got money, when you got all these people behind you, do you see what I'm saying? You can make things happen. And so he took this woman's kids, but he took this woman's kids out of spite. Okay, just let me say that. That's the way it sounded like me. You don't even have time to raise them kids. And, you know, this whole thing is starting to come to, you know, it makes sense now. Gabrielle Union spending most of the time with the kids. Siobhan said she sued Gabrielle Union because the way that she was acting around her kids. Do you see what I'm saying? And the mother clearly doesn't agree with the son, them, you know, parading the child around, saying that he's gay. Do you see what I'm saying? She don't have that much time on her kids. This whole thing is shady. And Dwyane Wade, oh, baby, you're going to reap what you sow. But anyway, we're going to go into another part of the interview. Do you see what I'm saying? And the rabbit hole goes deeper. Okay, so just hold on to your seats. My mouth was flung wide open when I heard this part of the interview as well. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm praying for these babies. Do you see what I'm saying? And Brenda said, Siobhan's mother said Dwayne and his sister showed up at her house when they were young with their clothes and trash bags. He do them like that. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Piscean Emperor says Gabby was the mastermind behind him getting sold because I absolutely believe that. She was in his ear. Do you see what I'm saying? And yes, it's a lot of things going on here with this situation. But at the end of the day, I think that Gabrielle Union, because she was the side chick, and Dwyane Wade, they have been trying to make this woman pay, make Zion's mother pay for simply being the first wife, the mother of his children. Because Gabby can't have kids. Okay? Now think about that too. All right? And everybody don't have the best interest of your kids at heart. By the way, do you see what I'm saying? You child, honey. Jessica said, by them inviting the world into the child sexuality choice, they are inviting predators. This is a child. You're absolutely right. This is a form of child abuse for them to be doing this to this kids like now. Z said Wade and Gabby are hiding behind the LGBTQ community. It's not about him supporting. No, it's not about him supporting this child. No, But anyway, let's get into. I told you guys this is gonna be, you know, a long video, and we're coming up on 2 hours of the video, but there is still more of the interview. Also, there's also now part of this part 4 interview was sectioned off because there is the interviewer is talking to and I'm going to play that for you guys too. She is talking to we heard her talk to the teacher, right? As it pertains to how Siobhan interacted with the kids. Now she's going to talk to a chauffeur, right? In this part 4. Before we go on to the part 5, this is her talking to a chauffeur, somebody that used to drive Siobhan around. Okay, when she was still married to Dwyane Wade. Okay, so let's pay close attention. Because this interviewer is trying to get an interview out of the chauffeur. Pay close attention to what he will and will not say, and what was done to him, and the accusations that were made about him and Siobhan while he was driving for her. Okay, so I'm gonna play this part of the interview for you guys, and then we'll go on to Siobhan talking again in the next segment. But this is an interview that the interviewer is having. She interviewed the chauffeur, okay, Siobhan's chauffeur, when she was still married to Dwyane Wade. Okay, pay attention to this. So anyway, let me play this for you guys.
Teachers were deposed. There were therapists.
First, this is Siobhan talking.
To DCFS for being abusive. Therapists reporting him for being abusive. Yes. Well, I do see in this report.
Now listen, there's a support. She's talking in this first part of the interview. This is still Siobhan talking. I forgot to mention it, but in the first part of the interview, this is Siobhan talking about an abusive incident that a therapist reported to to the Department of Children's Services, and she reported that Dwyane Wade abused their oldest son Zaire, and this is what she's talking about. And after she talks about this, there's going to be a different voice, and that is the interview of the driver, of Siobhan's driver. Okay, but first they're ready to talk about the alleged abuse that was afflicted upon Dwyane Wade's oldest son by Dwyane Wade. Okay, thank you, Lady Tia. Anyway, let's continue. Thank you, Brenda. Let's continue, y'all. Okay.
That Dr. Mobley mentioned Mr. Fist. Can you explain to me who is Mr. Fist and what is Mr. Fist about? Well, Mr. Wade, in disciplining Zaire, would take his closed fist and literally punch our son in the chest. He hit him hard, so hard one November. I remember because my mom and my grandmother were up in Miami during Thanksgiving, that Zaire literally slid across the floor in the house and had a full-blown asthma attack. And so he would ball his fist up and punch him in the chest as a means to discipline him. And he would call his fist and refer to it as Mr. Fist. So in disciplining him, he would say, you know, Zaire, do you want Mr. Fist? And that all came out too during this forensic evaluation, because the children were also evaluated by this forensic psychiatrist. What were the results? What did your children actually go through while you were going through the separation and custody battle? Did you notice any differences within your children? How were they affected? Well, in the 3 months that Mr. Wade wasn't around and had no contact at all, no physical contact at all with Zion or Zaire, 3 months consecutively, Zion responded, not knowing him. There was no bond. There was no attachment. He was missing, every day when he was, a baby and growing and changing rapidly. And so he responded to him as a stranger. Zaire knew him. Obviously, he was older. And so Zaire was very sad by the fact that, for 3 months straight, he didn't see him or didn't hear from him. But there were other things that happened too that had an effect. It wasn't just the separation, and it wasn't just ultimately the divorce that had effect on these children. There were so many other things going on, behind closed doors. You mentioned your son was balding at one time. How did that happen? Well, one night he was on the phone with his dad, and his dad, I could hear him yelling. He was so loud, and he was telling him, stop crying, men don't cry, man the F up, stop effing crying, and all of the yelling and the cursing. And it really upset him. It wasn't just the cursing, but even him telling him or making him feel like something was wrong with the fact that he was crying or that something had made him sad. And it had a really bad effect on Zaire. His hair literally began to fall out. And that night, he said, Mom, I just want to die. And that didn't have anything to do with the separation or the divorce or custody. That was direct behavior and treatment of his dad towards him. So it wasn't just Mr. Fist, and that physical harm done to him. It was also the verbal abuse. You don't speak to a child. You don't curse and tell a child, or threaten a child. And so that night it got really bad, and I suppose he was at a place where he felt like he couldn't take it, and he literally told me, Mom, I want to die. And my response was, I was thinking in my mind, he's of age. Will he try to take his own life? I was scared, and it was after hours, it was nighttime. I called the therapist that he was seeing at the time, and I told her, and I said, I'm not certain what to do, but I'm obviously scared. I'm not, sure if at this age he will do something to try to harm himself. Please help me. How can you advise me? So she gave us an emergency appointment. We came in the next day, and she spoke to him in detail alone about what happened and asked him to, trust her and confide in her about how he was feeling. And, she did everything she needs to do as a professional to make sure that he was all right and that he was not going to harm himself. And next thing I know, maybe a few days later, DCFS shows up at the door, and the therapist had reported Mr. Wade for being abusive towards Zaire.
Wow.
You've been around since his custody.
Wow. Let me stop right there. Did y'all hear what she said? She said that the oldest, she's talking about the abuse the child abuse that Dwyane Wade allegedly inflicted upon the oldest son, Zaire. Okay, Zaire loved his daddy. He knew his daddy. Zion really didn't know his daddy that much. Said he was on the phone with the boy one night, and the boy was crying because he wanted to see his daddy. He told him to stop crying, shut up, man up, all this and all that. So if you're telling your son to man up, your oldest son to man up, and don't cry, and you cussing at him and all of this and all of that, being verbally abusive on the phone to the point to where the boy want to kill himself, how is it that you all of a sudden, are embracing your younger child coming out being gay? If you're telling your older son on the phone, you cussing him out and screaming at him because he's crying, telling him to man up, and men don't cry and all this and all that. How is it that all of a sudden you're embracing, doing a whole press tour, that your younger son, Zion, that really didn't know you at the time that you ripped him away from his mother? How is it that he is so in support of Zion now, and parading him around to gay pride parades, and being on the Ellen show and the Good Morning America show doing a documentary about, you supporting his younger son Zion, because he said he gay and he think he a girl on the inside. That's a 360-degree turn. And did y'all hear her say that and she was reading the report, the court-appointed therapist, the child therapist, reported to the police, to DCFS, that Dwyane Wade abused his son. The lady got the paper in her hand, right? She punched him in the chest with his fist, and he called that form of discipline Mr. Fist. If you don't be good, I'm going to give you Mr. Fist, okay? And because we have learned that Dwyane Wade, even himself, he did an Oprah Winfrey interview, talking about the abuse that him and his mother had undergone when he was a child, okay? So whoever used to punch him in the chest and call it Mr. Fist, that's the same thing that he was doing to his older son, to the point to where the boy once said he wanted to kill himself, and the therapist reported it to DCFS, which is the police, and the DCFS came to the house because the therapist reported this form of abuse, okay? And the lady is reading it off of the paper, but all of a sudden, you love your son Zion, and you are in total support of him saying that he gay, and he think he a girl on the inside. But you're the perfect father. Now, mind you, he done got sole custody of these kids, all right? He done made it seem like to the whole world that this woman is crazy. The woman ain't lying. The woman got the report in her hand, okay? She read it off the report. She read it. This actually happened. He did this to his kids. Wow. Anyway, let's continue with some more of the interview. I just want y'all to be sure that y'all make sure that y'all heard that. Because that is, ooh, baby. God don't like, couldn't be me. Anyway, let's continue. Child. Let me read this first. Yeah, Mr. Light once said it sounds like he was reenacting the pearls of his child. I absolutely agree. Because what I say earlier, when a man, he done been abused in some kind of way, if he don't get help for it, he will reenact. He will become the abuser. Okay? He will reenact that. He will put that abuse onto other people. Okay? Now, women, most of the time, they hurt themselves. Men, however, most of the times they don't get help for it, they will go on to become the abuser. They will inflict on other people and their children the very types of ways that they were abused. Okay? They will reenact it. They will put it on to their kids. They'll do the same thing to their kids that was done to him. Okay? Lady T also said now he want his other son to woman up. That's right, I'm confused. And that's why we fight for the kids over here. We sure do, Lady Tia. Yeah, and this report, this lady is not lying. The woman got the report in her hand and she reading it off. Okay, so no, it's not a lie. I'm like, wow, oh my God. Anyway, let's continue. There's with some more of this part of the interview, and we'll go on to the next part. But let's finish this part. I'm sorry I have to keep interrupting, but oh my God. Anyway, hold on. Let's finish.
And I know Siobhan is your friend. I know you love her dearly. How do you feel about the children? I love her.
I'm so scared for these kids.
When I was introduced to Siobhan and I met her children, In that moment, I was going through a transition that I lost a sister.
This is the friend
So I
talking.
killed her for her children. To me, it was an opportunity that what I couldn't do for my own nephews, I was doing it for those children.
Okay.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because it's obvious you're fighting for your children. What are you going to do? I'm going to pray and I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to do everything that I can do. At the end of the day, you know, as I look back and my children reflect back, I will know this and they will know this. I did everything that I possibly could. Did money, do you believe, in your opinion, and I'm going to ask you too, honestly, do you believe that money and fame afforded Mr. Wade the custody of your children? Or do you feel as though that he could be a good parent, but maybe the court truly did think, when I say the court outside of the psychologist and the experts that was appointed in the court, do you think that maybe it was some other external factors that the court maybe found that he was a better fit parent than you? Absolutely, I do. I absolutely do. I have no question about it. It was very biased to me. You know, if somebody were to ask me, what do I, think about it? If I could sum it up, I would tell you I didn't get a fair shake, not even from the beginning.
Wow.
As you all can see, we are in the car.
Okay, y'all, this is the interview that I was talking about of her. This is the interviewer interviewing the driver, Siobhan's, the guy that used to drive for Siobhan. You know, like they have chauffeur drivers and drivers that drive them around town. This is the interviewer interviewing the driver, Siobhan's driver, when she was still married to Dwyane Wade. Okay, this is that part of it. So it is the interviewer and the man driver that you're going to hear. This is the voice that you're going to hear now. Okay, hold on.
With Larry, he was the actual chauffeur driver for Siobhan Wade during her entire trial. And believe me, it took a lot for me to even get Larry on camera, because he insisted that he would not go on camera. He did not want to, because one thing that he does not want people to believe is that he's trying to exploit the professional relationship that he had with Siobhan Wade. After long begging, pleading and begging, because we flew all the way up here, he agreed to give us some information, but he is not going to share everything that he actually shared with us earlier on camera. He's not comfortable with doing that. Larry, can I ask you, how did you meet Miss Siobhan Wade? Listen, I know that you having some reservation.
Big time. And I'll feel better tomorrow.
But why?
I won't stand you up.
No. But why? Well, we're not going to be here. But why is it that you having these reservations like this?
Because I told you what my reasons were. And then, like I said, I promised my mother and my father that I wasn't doing it. Because I talked to like 5 people. I was like on the fence. I wanted to do it, and I didn't want to do it.
Why did you want to do it though?
To help Siobhan.
And you want to help Siobhan because what? This is just this. You want to help Siobhan because of what?
Because she's a good parent. I think she deserves her kids. Her kids need to be with her.
Now, just out of respect, and please don't think I'm being disrespectful. It was stated in the past before that you and Siobhan had more than a professional relationship. Is that true?
Not at all.
Okay. And when you say, have you been around Siobhan when she's had her children?
Yes.
And you do see that she's a good, caring mother?
Very good, caring mother.
And when you was taking her to court, all those, it was weeks or months that you took her to court during that time, did you actually see Dwyane Wade in court?
Yes.
Did you all ever speak?
No. Not once.
Did he ever give you any type of gestures or?
He would give me dirty looks from time to time, but that's about it.
And when he would give you dirty looks, what was your response back?
There was really no response. I would just look at him, turn my head.
Did his lawyers ever say anything to you?
All the time.
Like?
Hope Siobhan doesn't get hurt today. You're doing a good job keeping her safe. You have your gun in court today. Things like that.
Well, and I know we're not accusing nobody of anything. I know we all know that. But you had a tragedy that happened to you during the time that you were taking Siobhan to court. Your car was actually set on fire. And you still got up and still drove her to court. What made you do that?
Oh, I just felt I needed to be there for her. She seemed like she was alone. No one was there. Everybody was against her.
In your opinion, do you feel like she was unjustly treated in the courts?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And why would you say that?
There was just bias towards her. There was just a lot of things that went on that I thought was unfair.
Do you think that they were biased towards her because her ex-husband was a NBA player?
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Do you feel as though if they were both, and when I mean they, Siobhan and Dwayne were on even playing fields, do you believe Siobhan would still have custody of her children?
When you say even playing fields, do you mean the fame part or the money part?
Well, I mean both.
Yeah, I think so.
Were you in court the day that the forensic psychologist, the court-appointed forensic psychologist, actually made a decision that stated that Siobhan would be that the children should remain in the custody of Siobhan Wade?
Yes. Yes.
But yet the courts awarded Dwyane Wade custody.
Yes. Was
that shocking to you?
Very much so, especially the way that they did it.
And the forensic psychologist that actually said that the children should stay in Siobhan's care, did you see her reaction when the children were awarded to Dwayne?
Did I see her? No, I actually talked to her on the phone. She asked me to meet her at court. Well, actually, she wanted me to come and pick her up. But,
was she shocked?
I was working. Yeah, very much so.
And she was shocked because her evaluation stated otherwise?
I think everyone in the courtroom just knew that she would get the kids.
Because the kids were already within her custody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And you also just want to say for the record, let's just say this for the record, that you're not accusing anyone of burning your car. Okay, that's fine. Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's it.
Because you didn't want to say nothing in the first place.
At all, not a thing.
I know. And I thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Do you think the media had a lot to do with this?
Let me pause. So you just heard what the Siobhan's chauffeur had to say. All the threats that the lawyer made. His car was, miraculously set on fire during this trial. They tried to imply that the chauffeur and Siobhan was having an affair with one another. All this in an attempt to make this woman seem like a bad person, a bad wife, a bad mother. Do you see what I'm saying? It is crazy. Crazy. I never heard this. I'm absolutely shocked about this, but it is really typical of a case of domestic violence. Not only has he there's papers that he abused her, but also he's abused her children. Do you see what I'm saying? And yes, I agree, Lady T. They snatched them kids. Yeah. It's crazy. But anyway, let's continue. I just want you guys. So now she's done talking to the chauffeur, and she's back talking to Siobhan and the friend again. Okay, so let's continue this part.
I believe I was tried in the media. Certainly I did. When you was tried in the media, why didn't you fight back in the media? Because I had a choice to make.
I could either fight for an image of what I was like as a mother, and that's saying, you know, what will the media think about me, and what will other people think about me, or I could fight to be a mother for real. And that comes back to this: what do my children know about me? You know what I mean? And those are the things that matter to me. I had a choice to make. Time was of the essence. My children were broken and they were in need, and I could have made sure that my image, so to speak, stayed afloat, and that for everyone else, I looked or appeared like a good parent, or I could actually get behind closed doors, roll up my sleeves, and really be a mother to these children who at that time, father was absent and were very broken and very hurt, and I chose to do that.
Najee, how are you going to continue to assist Siobhan to regain the custody of her children?
First of all, I have to ask God to continue to keep the strength, the grace, the favor that He has, keep him to this point, and to hope and believe that the court will come out of the agreement of punishing Zion and Zaire from not seeing the mother. Because when the court tells her that she's not going to see them, they are saying Zion and Zaire are not entitled to see their mother either. Just to continue to hope that it's not only going to change for this family, but it's going to change for the other families that we have seen that have been unrighteously. Children being removed not only from the mother, but I also believe there's fathers out there that his children have been removed from them when they are that parent to be with their children.
Najee, you were there. Siobhan said that she only received 3 months worth of child support for all the years that she had her children when they were separated. Did you witness the financial struggle that Siobhan had?
Yes, in one occasion we were in Florida. We were going to get some stuff for the children. We were in Publix. And she got everything at the register, and she slapped her card. And it says decline. He got all of her funds. I had to pay him that moment for whatever she was getting for the children. And then, like, it has been like that. Going to court, hearing all the cases saying this worker that probably from the post office or whatever, kind of all the regular job, saying they gotta pay child support. We saw in one occasion the same judges that are involved in this case literally sending men to jail for not paying child support. But in this case, she was never entitled to get it. But when it was closer to grant Mr. Wade with custody of his children, then they say, give her 3 months of child support.
Wow. We'll be right back. Real talk with Kietta.
Okay, so y'all just heard the second part. Y'all heard the chauffeur driver explain what happened to him. Y'all heard the friend saying that, and I told you, with financial, when you withholding funds in a relationship and they got kids, she told the story, the friend told the story of one day they was out shopping for the kids. She slid her card, the card was declined. She had to pay for the kids' items. The friend did because Siobhan, he cut her off from access to the money, so she didn't have any money to support her kids. During time, when it was time for 3 months prior to them going to court to see who was going to be granted custody, he gave her 3 months of child support. Ain't gave her no back child support. Didn't do nothing for her the whole time they was going through the divorce, cut her off from the funds, but 3 months prior to them going to court, he gonna give her 3 months of child support. And then of course we know after that, fast forward, he's granted custody of the kids. All these reports been given to the judge. He's still granted custody to the kids, but she's gonna explain how that happened as well. Okay. Good morning, No Chase Hebrew. How you doing? Thanks for giving me a shout out in your video. I appreciate it, babes. And Jessica said, Miss Olivia, I'm so glad you jumped on the story. Honestly, I had no idea she was even a topic. I didn't either. I just always heard that she was a crazy lady in passing. And this interview is from 2012, and I wasn't even making videos on YouTube in 2012. Okay, and I had never seen this. But I tell you, YouTube, The stuff you see going down your timeline when you talk about a situation. YouTube is messy. Okay. But anyway, yeah, Dwayne, God don't like ugly. Just let me say. But now all of a sudden, he's super dad. He's super dad. You super dad now. After you done told your oldest son to stop crying, boys don't cry, all this and all that, back then. But now transformed to 2020, you all in support of your 12-year-old son being gay to the point to where you paraded him around, like he's some type of show pony or something. I'm like, wow, that's how you doing it? Okay, all right, wow. Anyway. This is, I believe this is the 5th part of the interview, and the interviewer is still talking with Siobhan. I think we on. Anyway, let's start right here. I don't know if I play this again, I'm gonna stop and go into the next one. But I believe this is where we are at this point. Yeah, it's starting to make sense, right, Lady Tia? So let's see what this part has to say. Let's see.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Kietta. I'm sitting here talking to Siobhan Wade, Dwyane Wade's ex-wife, and I do realize you have your own identity, so I'm just going to call you Siobhan, okay? Thank you. So I'm reverting back to the conversation we just had a minute ago before we went to break. And you were saying how you were cut off financially from Dwayne. You didn't even have enough money to pay for food at Publix for your children. Yet, I'm sitting here looking at an order. This is an order that I'm looking at right here. In 2008, it was ordered that the petitioner, his office, his officers, agents, employees, and attorneys are hereby enjoined and restrained, which means they cannot, by court order, from selling, assigning, transferring, pledging, mortgaging, encumbering, squandering, dissipating, withdrawing, or otherwise dealing with any transactions, real estate, or any other property assets in his possession or under his control until further order of this court. Okay? You remember this order?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In the same order, it also awards you, says from the funds remaining after the payments and disbursements that was described in the previous paragraph. It states that the balance shall be dispersed 75% of Dwayne's salary to himself and 25% to you. What's that number? So, without prejudice, so I'm trying to figure out why you were wrong. Because Mr. Wade didn't comply with that order. I understand what the order said I was entitled to and the court ordered him to do, but he didn't comply with that order. So he was never held in contempt? No, he was not. I mean, we filed motions addressing that issue and asking the court to enforce that order multiple times, at least 5 times. But, nothing was ever done about it. There was actually a Judge Hernandez, that herself just orally vacated that injunction order. Let
me pause right there. So she's talking about the financial situation. When Siobhan still had custody of the kids, Dwyane Wade cut off the money. They went to courts in order for her to be able to have some money to take care of herself and the kids, right? So the court ordered Dwyane Wade to retain 75% of his income, and he ordered Dwyane Wade to give Siobhan, the ex-wife and mother of his 2 sons, 25% of his income. He never gave Siobhan 25% of his income. She's now talking about how she went back to court, and the judge, which is clearly biased, didn't do anything about it. Anyway, let's continue. I just want to make sure y'all understood what she was saying. Let's continue. And good morning, everybody that's joining me.
That's that order that awarded me some sort of money for myself to be able to live. Well, I'm sitting here also looking at an order where it's the 5th time that you all are asking to rule to show cause for indirect civil contempt. I don't understand. I'm just asking. I'm sorry. Now, this is nothing directed towards, Dwayne, personally, but I'm asking. From my understanding, if you're held in contempt of court and you blatantly disregard what the court orders, you can be prosecuted. So have you guys not asked for that? And when I say you guys, I'm sorry, have your attorneys not asked for that? Have they not presented this to the court? Effectively, why is it that he's in contempt, yet nothing has happened to him criminally? Because that's a crime.
to blatantly disrespect or to disregard what the court has ordered. It has been filed. It's been filed numerous times, and it hasn't just been a complaint on its face. There was plenty of attachments, affidavits. There was proof attached to those motions stating the funds that I lacked. There were bank statements of Mr. Wade showing millions of dollars that he had, yet not paying the 25%. There was proof of all of that. I had gotten a phone call from the car company that I use who told me, Ms. Wade, if there's another missed payment, my car was going up for repossession. There was evidence as to all of that, but nothing was done.
Well, did you know in May of 2008, I'm just wondering, the same year that you were saying that you couldn't use your bank card to buy food, he bought his mother a nearly $2 million church. Now, you all were still leaving the marriage, so that was considered marital assets. Did you know about that transaction?
No, I didn't. I found out about it afterward, that he purchased the building for her and even the price of the building.
In May of 2010, you were actually arrested for failure to appear in court. Can you explain why you were arrested and what happened and why didn't you show up for court?
I actually was there. I was at a coffee shop. There's a corner bakery right outside of the Daily Center. And I was there waiting on my attorney. But my attorney at that time, Marsha Fisher, was actually in a car accident on the Stevenson Expressway, and her car was totaled. And I was told that, she had to be taken to the doctor or the hospital or something like that. She had to seek medical attention, and that the court hearing would be rescheduled. I found out later that the court hearing actually still went forward, even though she'd been in a car accident where her car was totaled and she needed medical attention. And I didn't know that it was going forward because at that time, 2 women showed up at my house from DCFS and told me that yet another therapist had reported Mr. Wade for child abuse. And they came unannounced. They told me that they had to do it anonymously to not give me a heads up. And they were at my house and wanted to do an interview. And so I was conducting an interview with DCFS after, the therapist reported Mr. Wade, and I had no idea that all that was going on.
So you were actually at the courthouse. I had the intention to go. Your attorney was actually in a car accident on her way to the courthouse to be with you to represent you. So you were under the impression the court date was changed because you didn't have any representation, that she couldn't be there because of a car accident.
Yes.
You left and you had no idea that the court hearing was still going on.
I had absolutely no idea whatsoever. My understanding was my attorney needed medical attention and she was going to get it, and she was in a pretty bad car accident.
Well, do you read the tabloids and the blogs and the papers?
I try not to.
Well, do you really, since you try not to, let me tell you, if you're okay with it, I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. Okay. They paint you as pretty much crazy, erratic. They paint you as a person that's mentally unstable. We have another opinion yet by another man. And what's your...
Let me pause. Y'all heard what she said, the press, and I thought, I saw the press painting her as a crazy person as well, but you got to remember that Dwyane Wade got all these high-powered attorneys behind him, and Siobhan just got herself. And good morning, everybody. If you have just joined me, I want to read something Cloud say. Now, they have broken away from the interview from talking to the woman. The next voice that you hear is the interviewer talking to some random guy about what he feels about what's being said about Siobhan in the press. Okay, and she cut away to let you guys hear his comments. Cloud said, I guess folks pegged her as crazy because she was in front of family court with a flyer saying, quote, NBA Miami Heat star ex-wife mother of his kids out on the streets in 2013. Yeah, Cloud, I saw that on TV. Yeah, they showed that her outside the courts with that standing with that sign in front of her and sitting down and all of that, and they were saying that she was crazy, and that's the reason why she was outside the court protesting like that. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, and you're right, Jessica, he's supposed to pay 25% of his income, but he didn't pay it to her. So yeah, you heard that correctly. So let me. I just wanted to interrupt. And hey, Hoodoo. Hey, everybody that just now came in, and just want to explain explain to you guys what she has said. So yeah, I remember that back then too. Like I said, I had never heard any of this till I heard this interview, and this interview is from 2012. And I think Jessica, Lady Tia, might have asked how long has he had custody of the kids. I'm assuming at least since 2012. Do you see what I'm saying? Because at this point in time, she doesn't have custody of her children. And this interview was taken in 2012. Lady Tia. And so he's had custody of his kids at least since 2012. Okay. And so anyway, let's continue with the interview.
Your opinion about Dwyane Wade and Siobhan court case?
That man deserved to have his kids.
And why would you say that?
Hold on a minute. Claude, who is Joy Golden TV? Hold on a minute. Now, I don't mind you coming in my chat, whoever Joy Golden TV is, but, like, you twerking it a little bit too much. Okay? Now, we are here to listen to this interview. I never heard of you before, and welcome. Do you see what I'm saying? And, Cloud, as a matter of fact, can you delete this person from my chat? I don't know who Joy Golden TV is, but she's asking people to show him or her love, and you're disrupting my chat. So, Cloud, if you don't mind, could you please block Joy Golden TV from my chat? Because I don't know who this is. All right? I don't play these type of games over here. We don't twerk like we want to in this chat over here. All right? We show respect to one another. No disrespect to you. I just have never seen you here before. All right? Yeah, they do. They seem to be trolling and disrupting the chat. And this is a very important subject. And so, please block this person out of my chat, Cloud. Thank you. Jessica said, Miss Olivia, we called it. We said he was probably abusing their child. Absolutely. These children have been subjected to God only knows anything. Yeah, you're right. Nobody is showing me love. Okay, so clearly somebody is, this is some kind of troll page, and I hope Cloud done deleted these people out of my chat. Matter of fact, hold on a minute. Let me make sure. I gotta switch screens real quick, fast. I know how that go. I gotta go back to the other stream to make sure this person is out of my chat, because we don't play this over here. We don't do this. What we're not gonna do over here. So hold on a minute, guys. Sorry for the interruption, but yeah. Hold on, I gotta get back to my main page. Lord Jesus, sorry to have to interrupt this, but trolls gonna do what trolls gonna do, and so that's cool. It is whatever. It is what it is. But let me just get them out. Oh, they're gone. Okay, Cloud got her out. Thank you, Cloud. Okay, so now we're going back to the interview. And so, yeah, hold on. And sorry about that, guys. I just can't do that. I tried to, but she was doing too much. Yeah, no, Cloud, thank you. I wanted her gone. I've never heard of that person before, and I don't know why they was doing all that twerking and backpedaling, pee-popping in my darn chat. So let me get back to the interview, guys, and we'll continue. Hold on one second. Woo, child, it's too much. Did we stop at, what was we on, 6 or 7? Hold on, I gotta find it again. I lost my train of thought. I think we was on 5, right? Yeah, I'm on 5, I believe. Hold on a minute. I got to find it. Child. Ooh, honey. Yeah, I believe we're right here. All right. So this is some guy that she's talking to, and he's giving his opinion as to what was what was being said about Brenda. I believe this is where we are. Yeah, here we are. Oh, I gotta turn it up.
And what's your opinion about Dwyane Wade and Siobhan court case?
That man deserved to have his kids.
And why would you say that?
There's something wrong with his wife.
Because of what?
She's sickly in the head.
Well, what make you think she's sick in the head?
Man, she was in court. Everybody saw that on the news and in the newspaper. She take medicine and she must have taken it that day.
See, again, so you heard it from the newspaper and the TV. You read it from the newspaper that she takes medicine?
Dude.
Oh, she does?
Yes.
Okay, and you know that for a fact because it was printed in the paper?
There you go.
Okay. All right. Again, we have another person that has formulated their opinion about what was based off the media. Now, Siobhan, I'm going to ask you straight up, is this true? Because everybody needs to realize, contrary to what you or how you believe things are, Real Talk with Kietta is going to tell you how things really are.
We say this: the court-appointed forensic psychiatrist did not deem you mentally unstable. Correct. So, with that being said, what do you have to say about the perception that people have of Siobhan Funches Wade? Well, more so than the perception, I would like to address the source of it. I do believe that it's come from Mr. Wade. Okay. And I know that Mr. Wade is in no position himself, educationally, mentally, to diagnose me with anything or assess me psychologically. I would be very surprised if Mr. Wade could spell the word psychological, let alone diagnose me with something. So I don't spend my time worrying about that. If I took the time to address each and every criticism or accusation that he made towards me or that they released to the press, I wouldn't have had time to constructively build and help my children. I was too busy transporting my children back and forth to therapy and to school and sitting down doing homework with them and consoling them, and taking them to the doctors when they almost drowned in the pool. I had real serious things going on in my life, and I just didn't have time to sit and play that media game with him. Well, just for the record, and let it be clear, you have never been on medication for any type of mental illness. I don't have any type of mental illness. I don't take any type of psychological drugs or anything like that. And there was a forensic psychiatrist that was involved. And she agreed, and she said that you didn't have any mental illness. And she also said that the children should be with me, their mom. And I don't believe that woman, being a neutral party, as experienced and as qualified as she is, would have deemed me insane and then said, send the children with her. It just simply wouldn't have happened. Okay. Exactly. Now, Siobhan, in the paper it reads that you've been represented by 12 different lawyers from 6 different firms. Is there a particular reason as to why you have went through so many attorneys? Yeah, there's a few reasons. Okay. One of them is I had co-counsel almost the entire time. I had a lawyer working with me from the very beginning, Doreen Marcus, and she was basically doing it by herself. So there was always another law firm that was utilized to help her be co-counsel in this case. There's obviously a lot of issues litigated in this case, as you can see. So we always had help, but Miss Marcus, her husband died, and shortly after, Mr. Wade sued her. It was just, It was a lot, There was another set of lawyers that I had, and he sued them, and so they didn't work for me anymore. There was another lawyer I had, unfortunately, that even had to ask the appellate court to give more time to respond because she was dealing and fighting cancer while representing me. There's many things that have caused, me to have different lawyers and different law offices. There are attorneys that felt the things that were being done to both myself and the children were very unjust and even corrupt, and they got off the case. So there's several reasons why. I have a copy right here of the stock payment that was made for a check that was given to you from Dwyane Wade. This was dated back in October of last year. Why was this check stopped? I'm not certain why it was stopped, but I know that was the only money I was given for the month. And I know that I didn't have enough money at that time as well to pay my bills. And so, I incurred late fees, and I was fighting so that things would get reported to the credit bureau, and things like that it wouldn't happen what happened with my car. I didn't want it to be where I was in another position where a vehicle of mine or something was being threatened to be repossessed. I'm not certain why, he stopped payment on the check. I just know that my bank alerted me and told me that I had a fee that I had to pay because that check had bounced. Somebody had stopped the payment and I tried to cash it. In March of 2011, Siobhan, after this court battle, after you painted in the media as a villain, as an unstable person, which, of course, I don't have to refute it.
the forensic psychiatrist already deemed that, and we all know that any family know, and everybody who knows you know that's not the case. But unfortunately, this is how you're thinking. Dwayne was granted custody in 2011. Now, did this come as a total surprise to you?
Yes, it did. I think that I was very disappointed, which means I must have had some sort of faith in what's supposed to be the justice system. Justice is supposed to be blind, which means when I walked in the courtroom, they weren't supposed to see an NBA star and a gold medalist and then, oh yeah, and the wife. You know, it's supposed to be blind. When justice is blind, they wouldn't have been able to see anybody. They would have just justly ruled, you know? And so I was very surprised at that, you know, to have those sort of people come and testify on my behalf, to have doctors, you know, involved and speak about the abuse, to have the forensic psychiatrist say that, you know, Mr. Fitz is real. Zaire didn't make that up. His dad has punched him in his chest before. You know,
I also read a transcript from his stepmother. His stepmother also stated that she knows Mr. Fitz because Dwayne's father used Mr. Fitz with them. I mean, so it's documented that Mr. Fitz is real. Yet he was still given custody. What was the judge's name that gave Dwayne custody of the children?
Her name is Renee Goldfarb.
Okay. What was the judge's name that actually granted Dwayne temporary possession of the children back in 2010?
Judge Faye Fernandez.
Okay. We're going to speak more about this when we get back. We're going to talk with Kietta.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so now, well, you heard all of it. She is going to discuss how Dwyane Wade used his power and his money to continue to abuse her, as well as snatch her kids away from her. And I feel so bad for this lady. Like, I really am at a loss for words. Somebody said, let me scroll back up for a minute. Jessica said that this is so sad. A woman had her children whipped away and was left for broke and destitute, all the while he was abusing the system, his power, his family, and no hope for the system. I know that's right, Jessica. Honey, you have to be careful. That's why I'm always urging you guys to please divest from the abuse. First sign of abuse, y'all get the heck up out of there. Okay? Like, for real, I don't, this is too much. Brenda said that's what a lot of people was saying, that she was crazy. Yes, Brenda, I heard she was crazy too. You know, just like the man heard she was crazy. They was putting out all these lies out about her, but the court-appointed psychiatrist, forensic psychologist, court-appointed therapist, deemed her not to be crazy. She ain't on medication, so the media was lying about her. Do you see what I'm saying? But the judge was basically, for lack of a better word, in Dwyane Wade's pocket. Okay, but we're gonna get more into that, what the deal is with the judge too. She's gonna explain that too. I just want to stop and read some of you guys' comments, and this is just like, I can't believe it. Lady Tia said this story is similar to Murray Harvey. I agree, Lady Tia, right? They said she was crazy too. I don't believe in coincidences. This is a tool being used against the ex. Yes, because these men, they are men of means and they have power, and they've got, you know, the media behind them because they're celebrities. And as long as you're making money for the system, of course, it's going to be behind you and be on your side, especially when it comes to another black woman. Okay, and Siobhan clearly is not a celebrity. You know, she was just his wife, you know, and she black. So, of course, you know, they're going to inflict all types of abuse on her because she don't have nobody to stand behind her. Even if she had good attorneys, Lady Tia, I think Dwyane Wade was paying them attorneys of hers off not to do the job. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's pitiful. It's pitiful. Miss Enlightened once said, I saw on D Wade's IG where he tagged Siobhan on their oldest son's birthday. He's real slick, trying to act like they're good now. Right? Yeah, because he's trying to change his image. I saw a comment earlier that said Gabrielle Union is trying to, you know, change his image, make it seem like he's a good, you know, a good guy, so that he'll continue to be media acceptable. And so that is exactly what's going on. And I wonder how old Zaire now is now. And when Zaire becomes of age, will he speak out in defense of his mother? You see what I'm saying? The business artist group said, I love you all. Speak up every chance you get. And homeschool ASAP family. I know that's right. Business said, original melanated American family. We are the last stronghold for our race here in America. The last standing, not raped out and killed off. Wow. Don't let them extinct us, family. Rise against this now. Wow. 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 That is deep. That is deep. So anyway, guys, let me go on and play some more of this interview. It's a couple of more parts. We're going on to part 6. These are short. These little parts of it are not long. This is at the end of the interview, and it won't be much longer. And I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. If you're still here, you've been here from the beginning, because this is important. It needs to be known. Like, I had no idea any of this was going on. Do you see what I'm saying? Jessica said, yes, Gabby is grooming him for retirement. I absolutely agree, Jessica. Right. And so to answer Lady Tia's question, so he's had custody of the children since 2011. Wow. That's right. Short and Sassy said, probably because some of those judges are part of the elite club. Yes, I agree with you. Jessica said, so he can be media friendly. He is a monster behind closed doors. Ain't that right? Ain't no telling what Gabby going through. But whatever she going through, she deserve it. Because you can see, little bits of her woven all through this. Okay, she is now his partner in crime, and I feel sorry for this mom, and I feel sorry for the kids. Okay, because there are so many levels of abuse. I bet he's still cheating on Gabby. But while she was online bragging about this huge diamond ring, this huge diamond engagement ring that she had got from Dwyane Wade, all the time he done had a baby on her. They engaged, he gave her a ring, but this whole time he's starving Siobhan, his wife, and his kids. They don't have nowhere to live. He done cut off the funds. She can't take care of her kids. He ain't giving her no money. But you done got Gabby this big ring, and you done had another whole baby. The whole time this is going on. Wow. Honey, you got to watch. Like I said, divest from abuse. Our money ain't good money, honey. And money truly is the root of all evil. Okay? But me and Dwayne, yeah, okay. Poor Siobhan. I wish I could have been in her body. That's all I got to say. Yeah, they said Gabby was a mean girl. Red Table Talks. What's her name? Will Smith's wife said that they fell out years ago because Gabrielle was a mean girl. She was a mean girl then. She's a mean girl now. I think she's some kind of witch. I think she is some kind of coven as it pertains to Hollywood and all this demonic stuff that's going on right now. This is also something that's going on. There's something real demonic going on right now. And, Baphomet that came behind the screen. Baphomet, the devil, if you want to call him, honey, is right and free, okay? And he is using social media and TV as a means, to kill people's souls, to make your soul turn black, to desensitize you, to get you to think anything you want to do is cool, that you want to do it. He's using Dwyane Wade and a lot of these black men in order to, change the whole perception of masculinity, as it pertains to black men. And a whole lot of black men are falling for it because we see online right here in this sector all the numerous amounts of He-Man black woman haters. Okay, but this is why I urge you guys to please divest from abuse. Okay, ain't nobody got to be treated like this. But like I said, I wish I could have been in Miss Siobhan's body. They just would have had to give me a week. Okay, I would have gave them a reason to call me crazy. All right, because this type of disrespect, it will not be tolerated. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care who the people telling you that you are, nigga. This right here, we wouldn't have done this. No, we wouldn't have. Anyway, let's continue. I'm sorry about that. Let me calm down. I just can't stand it. Girl. Anyway, here's another part of the interview.
With limitless listings
on y'all gotta forgive the ad. The ad is coming up. The ad. Okay. I'll say that when Miss Union. I agree with that, Clown.
And when I say explosive, I'm just floored at what I've witnessed, what I've been reading. The same judge that gave or granted Dwayne immediate temporary possession of the children back in 2010, was actually transferred from juvenile court because she ruled a father was not guilty of sexually abusing his children because the man's Sicilian background gave him different ideas about nudity. Now, this is also the same judge that.
Now let me pause. Did y'all hear what she got? The interviewer is reading off a document, and she's now talking about the judge that granted Dwyane Wade primary custody of their children. This is the judge that ripped Siobhan's kids away from her and gave custody to this abusive thing called Dwyane Wade. He ain't shit. And you write about Gabrielle Union, she a whole witch, but she gonna get what she deserved. Okay, because God don't like ugly. All right. Oh, I'm not deleting this video. Oh no, ma'am. Oh no, ma'am. Don't worry, I'm deleting it. Anyway, let's listen to what they have to say about the judge. Now, she's reading this information off a piece of paper. I'm going to rewind it a little bit. Y'all pay close attention to what she said about the judge, okay? This is explaining how he got custody of his kids, even though the court-appointed therapist, psychologist, the court-appointed suggest, deemed that the children should go with the mom. But the judge overruled that. Okay? And this is the reason why. So let's play this part. Okay?
The children back in 2010 was actually transferred from juvenile court because she ruled.
Hold on. Let me go back a little bit more.
Or granted Dwayne immediate temporary possession of the children back in 2010 was actually transferred from juvenile court because she ruled a father was not guilty of sexually abusing his children because the man's Sicilian background gave him different ideas about nudity. Now, this is also the same judge that a decision that she made in your case was actually overturned by the appellate court, and they said that she abused her discretion. Now, has it been corrected?
No, the appellate court deemed that Faye Fernandez had abused her discretion. They reversed the case and they remanded it, which means we had to correct the error. It has not been corrected yet.
I mean, so they ruled that her decision was not proper yet. You still have not been heard to have it corrected.
That is correct. No, I haven't.
Well, Siobhan, when Judge Fernandez actually granted Dwayne immediate temporary possession of the children, what happened at the hearing?
I was denied a hearing. Judge Faye Fernandez denied me my right to even be heard that day. I didn't have a lawyer, but I certainly had a right to represent myself in the proceeding and have a hearing.
Okay. Well, I want to show you something, Siobhan. Dwayne did an interview on the Breakfast Show, and I'm going to have to turn the cameras off because due to legal reasons, we can't show this video. I want you to look at this video and I want you to tell me what your thoughts are with this video that Dwayne did on Oprah's Next Chapter.
Okay, that was part 6. We're going to go on to part 7. It's only 2 more, 7 and 8. And I saw the interview that Dwyane Wade, it's on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. Dwyane Wade did an interview with Oprah on an Oprah Next Chapter, which he is so fake and phony and full of it in that interview. Okay, we simply don't have time to play the interview because we're coming up on 3 hours. But this is part 7, okay? So let's continue. Oh, he just turned 18 a few weeks ago. I hope he starts to speak out, Mr. Enlightened One. But you know, if his daddy is still paying his way, he probably won't even say nothing about it. And he might be scared of the man. He might be scared to speak out. But he did speak out in support of his brother, saying that the family love you and all this and all that there. And so I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if Zaire will leave. He could be scared to leave his brother in the house because his brother Zion, aka Zaya, is only 12, and Gabrielle and Dwayne, it's all in that little boy's ear about being gay, talking about they want to support him. They're exploiting this child, okay? I believe that Gabrielle Union and Dwyane Wade done put all this stuff in this baby's head. I think that looking like Gabby Dresden. Yeah, I think that Gabrielle Union, she got and Dwyane Wade is the daddy. He got the final say, but Miss Gabby ain't no good. Okay, and then if you're gonna tell your son Zaire you're gonna be verbally abusive to him years ago on the phone about him crying, saying man up and boys don't cry and all this and all that. How do you go from that frame of mind to this frame of mind to saying you supporting your son because he think he a girl on the inside? That don't sound right to me. That don't make sense. And Gabby gonna take him, and Gabrielle that took him to a gay pride parade when he was 11-year-old. Those people are barely clothed when they're in the midst of those gay pride parades. That is no place for an 11-year-old to be. I couldn't believe it when I heard that Gabrielle Union was allowed to take him to a gay pride parade. Is there any reason why she, sued Gabrielle Union for, dementing her kids? Now I know why she sued her. But honey, let's go. Let's listen to number 7. This part 7. All right. There's a commercial first. Sorry about that, guys. I can't pause it until I get ready to pause. Okay, there you go.
We're back. Siobhan had a chance to the video of Oprah's next chapter, the interview that she did with Dwayne. And Oprah made sure she made a statement that you can't believe everything that you read in the media. She said to Dwayne, on Father's Day, you had asked for your sons to be with you, and they weren't where they were supposed to be. I'm asking you, Siobhan, where were they?
Well, on Father's Day, the children were with their father, so I'm not certain why that was said. But the day before, June 16th, the children were with me in the backyard in the pool playing.
Can you show me?
Yes.
Okay.
Siobhan, during the week of June 8th, 2012, you started your visitation with your children for that week. Can you tell me what happened during that time?
Well, actually, I was supposed to start the visitation June 8th.
Okay.
I actually didn't get to see my children until June 9th because they were a day late.
Where were they?
I'm not certain. I still haven't found out, exactly what the problem was or why they were late. No one called me or told me. Both myself and the parenting coordinator were for hours trying to find out where the children were.
So you were, I'm guessing, I know you had to be chaotic. You had no idea where your children were. So did you get any resolve with that? I mean, when they arrived, I guess June 9th, right?
Yes.
When they arrived on June 9th, how was that to see your children?
It was very beautiful, but unfortunately they were pretty sleepy because I guess they were up all night with the traveling. And so I was very happy. I was very excited to see them, but especially the younger one, they were pretty exhausted.
Well, but during that week, during that visitation, now you were arrested on June 16th for allegedly kidnapping, child abduction. Can you tell me what was going on with that?
Well, I actually was in the pool in the backyard with my children here playing. We were all in the swimming pool. My mom was over. My granny was over that day, my friend Najee, and we were playing and enjoying ourselves. And the next thing I know, police are here.
So, Siobhan, since the children were allegedly late, June 8th, showing up, did you think you were in any violation on June 16th of not returning the children back to Dwayne on time?
No, I did not.
And you say that with such conviction. Were you actually shocked when you were arrested?
I absolutely was in shock. I ended up having a full-blown asthma attack and literally passing out. I was unconscious for a certain period of time.
And when all of this was going on, did you even know why you were being arrested?
No, ma'am. There was an officer, I suppose. I'm not sure. He was in plain clothes, but he was saying that I had violated a court order. And I asked him, can I please see the court order that I supposedly violated because I'm not aware of any court order. And he pulled out from his back pocket a blank sheet of paper and pulled it back in. And I was telling him, sir, there's absolutely nothing on that paper. Please show me the court order that you're saying that I violated. And I asked him if I'm allowed to please call my attorney because I'm certain if there's a court order entered, my attorney will be aware of that. And maybe this can be cleared up. But
well, during those times, have Dwayne ever been late bringing the children to you during your visitation period?
Yes, he has.
Approximately how many times would you say?
Maybe 7-8 times. June 8th was the latest time that he had done it, and that was actually during the same visitation period.
But during any of these times that he allegedly, brought the children to you late, have you any time called the police on him for him bringing the children late?
No, I have not.
And why was that? I'm wondering.
Because there's another way to resolve something like being late, something of that nature.
What do you really believe the reason that the police was called on you? Is there a bigger picture here, or do you really feel as though that he thought the children were in danger?
No, I don't. I know for a fact he didn't think the children were in danger. Absolutely not. The police were over the phone with him, and they said that they saw me and the children in a pool in the backyard playing.
Oh, the police witnessed the children playing in the backyard?
Yes, they did.
So it was obvious from the police perspective the children were not in danger?
Absolutely, and it was also obvious that I had not kidnapped the children, since we were actually in our own backyard in the pool.
So on June 16, 2012, when your daughter was arrested, what happened that day?
We were out in the pool with the children, playing in the pool. And the next thing I know is I hear a commotion. The next thing I know, my daughter's arrested.
Wow.
We'll be right back with Real Talk with Kietta. Keep it locked.
Wow.
Which Ty says only pay.
Oh, wow. So you guys are hearing her explain that at one visit, she was arrested by a plainclothes police officer, I guess an investigator, but said she violated the order because she was late, charged her with kidnapping, right? And because she was late. And she's going to go on in this next part explaining how this went down. But she said she asked the man for the warrant, and he showed her a blank piece of paper. Okay? Now, remind you, so she was late, but he had been late. She ain't never called the police on him. She obviously didn't kidnap her kids because they was in her house with her family playing in the pool. And then, so we're going to go on and let's listen to this part and, tell you how it play out. And then I'll come back to, child, it's too much. I just cannot believe. Y'all better watch. Okay? Not me. Nope. Anyway, let me play this. I believe this is the last little part of the interview for you guys, and she's going to explain what happened, after she was arrested and how it all went down. Okay. Beautiful Ray said exactly. I always felt that Wade X was sabotaged. Yeah. It's clearly she was sabotaged. Brenda said, I remember this event when she was arrested. Problem said the problem with dated actresses are that you can never tell when they're acting. Rex Harrison quote said Rex Harrison ex-husband, one of them anyway, of Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of actresses, especially the good actresses and actors, they have personality disorders. That's why they're able to go in and out of a character like that. Do you see what I'm saying? But Miss Gabrielle, she ain't innocent in this. She is a agent of chaos. Okay, she is a witch. And I knew that her heart was black. Even before Jada Pinkett Smith called her a bad girl, her heart was black because, she had been raped at one point in time. And she never dealt with that. And that also explains a lot. Explains a lot. This Gabrielle Union, she in the house with a whole bunch of men. Do you see what I'm saying? She was a side chick forever. She clearly got some kind of mental illness herself. And ain't no telling what she put in Zion's head. Okay? Ain't no telling. These people are horrible. Horrible people. Horrible. Anyway, that's my opinion. All right, so let me let you listen to the last part of the interview, okay?
Let Obamacare implode.
Here's an ad, of course.
Trump on and beat him.
Siobhan, you were actually charged with 2 counts of attempted child abduction and 2 counts of unlawful visitation interference. However, the charges were dropped. Yes, they were. How were you even charged with a crime of that magnitude when you all were in the backyard playing in the pool?
They said that they had a court order that was violated, and so they were charging me with that. But upon the dropping of the charges, they said no such court order existed.
Wow.
DCFS also investigated you for the alleged child abduction charges, and they also found this to be unfounded.
They did. They investigated me and my friend Najee. And the DCFS charges against Najee for allegedly striking Zaire in the head were also unfounded.
Oh.
Even though in the media it has been portrayed that Dwayne's older sister Tregill was at the property to pick up the children on this date of arrest, in fact, that was not true. It was Dwayne's younger sister that came to the property of Siobhan Wade to collect the children. In the court document, Dwayne's younger sister did in fact state that she made no attempt to either call Siobhan Wade or knock on the door to collect the children.
Now I'm going to revert back to the interview on OracleSpeaks chapter that Dwayne did. And I'm going to say what he said about as far as the relationship he wants his children to have with you. I encourage, I love, and excited for them to go to see their mom.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, that just sounds like a lot. That, I mean, I don't even use the word excited. That's not even a part of his vocabulary. You see what I'm saying? Just stuff like that and excited. When was the last time you said he was excited? It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So with that being said, because you were allegedly late returning the children to Dwayne, charges were filed against you. Now, has he ever been late bringing the children to you?
Yes, he has. As a matter of fact, he was late at the beginning of that same visitation period. I was supposed to be with my children on June 8th, and I didn't see my children until June 9th. For several hours, I didn't know where my children were at. The parenting coordinator, Karen Shields, she didn't know where the children were at. And hour after hour went by without us knowing where the children were and if they were even going to come home.
Wow.
Were you aware that the parenting coordinator appointed by the court, Ms. Karen Shields, used to be a former partner of Dwyane Wade's attorney, Mr. Prettigan?
No, I didn't know that at first. I just found that out more recently.
Wow.
Shouldn't this be considered a conflict of interest? After all, she was a former partner of Dwyane Wade's current attorney.
And also more recently, I was supposed to see my children after the Olympics, but Mr. Wade took them to Switzerland during my parenting time, so I wasn't able.
Well, were you aware of this?
I wasn't at first, no.
Well, you must have went to jail. You went to jail for being late, so
no.
Okay.
Wow.
Siobhan, what type of resolve do you want to see for you and your children?
I want to see what's right being done. I want to see justice prevail. I want my children to be back at home with me where they belong. And prior to that, I was supposed to be with my children in Florida, but Mr. Wade had the children taken out of the state of Florida and brought to Chicago, so I wasn't able to exercise that parenting time with them either. And I didn't know about that until I spoke with my sons over the phone, and they were crying, saying, "Mom, we're in Chicago. How come you haven't saw us?" And I didn't even know that they were here.
Wow.
Siobhan, I want to thank you so much for opening up your home to me and sharing this personal story. You could have shared this with anyone else on television, but you chose me, and I appreciate that. I'm also so proud of you that you have decided that you do have an identity. You are somebody, and you are pursuing your dreams. You're in law school, and I know you're going to be an excellent lawyer. I mean, you've been in court enough. I also want to commend you on your nonprofit, where you actually help others speak out about domestic violence. That's important. And I hope everybody knows that never be afraid to speak out about domestic violence. It happens to the best of us. I love you. I thank you all for watching today. We're going to talk with Kietta.
Wow. Woo, child. So that was the end of the interview. And I just want to say shout out to Kietta Mayfield-Gamble for putting on this interview. This interview was done. Siobhan Wade trusted her back in 2012 to do this interview. The charges were dropped on her when she was charged with abducting her own children. The charges were dropped because they were unfounded. DCFS, deemed them unfounded. She didn't have to go to court for that. Thank God. Do you see what I'm saying? And yeah, they have tried to destroy this woman in the press for years, Gabby and Dwayne. Make it seem like she crazy. Do you see what I'm saying? Lola said Wade and Gabby always look suspect to me. They be trying too hard to appear happy. I agree with you, Lola. I saw him on the Good Morning America show the other day when he was once again talking about his son being gay. He didn't look happy the whole time. And we spoke, and I feel sorry for that little boy in him that was abused. but for him to go on and abuse his kids as well as his ex-wife, and to treat his ex-wife mama the way that he treated her, lied on her, forged her name when she took him in when she didn't have to, because he couldn't take being abused no more. Ain't no telling, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was sexually abused as well as being, physically abused, in that home. And she took him in, she took care of him, you know what I mean? And he ended up doing her and her daughter like this, and them people loved him. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's just unfortunate, but I'm glad. And it also said that she is, in 2012, she was going to law school. I don't know if she completed the law school or not, but I hope she is now an attorney or on her way to be an attorney. I hope that she has gotten her life together. I don't even know if she's still seeing her kids or not, but she explained that she wouldn't speak out against them in the press. She was probably scared if she spoke out into, the mainstream media after they had demonized her. She was probably afraid that they were going to turn her words around and she would never get to see her kids. And I hope that the one Zaire has turned 18. I hope that he, is in contact with his mom, if he can be, in poor little Zion. My God, that baby 12 years old. And that is the reason why I want to play this entire interview. And I know that this video has gone on for 3 hours. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I hope that you guys appreciated this interview. I hope you guys are going to show me some love on that Cash App or whatever, because this has been absolutely a lot to deal with. Cloud said, but thank you guys so much for joining me, okay? Cloud said Gabby will be the victim within the next 5 years, right? Trust me, she biding her time until she either finds someone else younger and or have no more use for him, or he gets caught cheating. I know that's right, Claude. I absolutely agree with that. I sure do. Jessica said, thank you, Lady Tia. Said, I really enjoyed this live. Thank you, Lady Tia. Jessica said, I believe their home is a house of horrors. Me too, Jessica. I also believe Gabby only wanted a child with him. Yeah, only loves her child. Yeah, she wanted a child with him, so she had that surrogate baby, and it was probably a trick baby, okay? Because she probably trying to find her way out of the situation too. But she don't want to leave without getting no money. Because she know how he played the first wife, because she had an integral part in that. And so she biding her time, because she's sneaky, she manipulative, and she a mean girl. And I ain't no telling what she put in Zion's head. Okay, it ain't no telling. It ain't no, my God, I feel sorry for these kids, And Jessica said, Miss Olivia, in 2020, Hollywood makes it cool to put the underage children in the press over sexualizing them. And ain't it strange how Snoop Dogg, the pictures leaked out of his son, talking about something he androgynous and he dressed like a girl, and we know what happened to Magic Johnson's son and of Will Smith. Are they offering their son's masculinity up as some kind of some kind of offering up to evil spirits, some kind of sacrifice? You know what I mean? You gotta really, this is some demonic stuff going on in Hollywood, especially when it comes to these black men and their male children. Do you see what I'm saying? I seen a report where Steven Spielberg, his adopted black daughter, he has supported her in becoming a porn star. There's some weird stuff going on here. Thank you, Asher. Jasmine said, I'm still here. Thank you, Jasmine. Asher said, great commentary. Thank you, Asher. Thank you, Sassy. He's already had a break, baby. That's right. A girl. A beautiful Ray said, I'm worried about the baby girl too. Me too. Gabby and Wade no longer need to print anything. They sure don't. Thank you, Earth to Water says your commentary is always excellent. Keep it. Thank you. Beautiful Ray said Wade need to be more concerned about that break baby. Okay, that trick baby is what I call it. Both them and Gabby refused to acknowledge. Yeah, he don't say nothing about that baby. The one that he had with the gold digger, and she got 2 kids by the Wayans Jr. guy, and he don't comment about that child, huh? Guess he couldn't get custody of that one, huh? Well, Gabby wouldn't have it anyway, because he had that baby on Gabby when they was engaged before they even got married. Okay? I was like, wow. Okay. Yeah, Short Sassy, I believe so too, Short Sassy. Yes, honey, this is so demonic. Okay? Demonic. And these people ought to be ashamed of themselves. And Dwyane Wade is a whole faker. You go verbally abuse your son to the point to where he wanted to kill himself because he was crying on the phone because he wanted to see you. But then you go uplift Zion and this nonsense? I told y'all, it sounds like child abuse. I said it then, I'm saying it now. Sound like child abuse, you know? Alicia said, I saw that too. I doubt he would have supported his biological daughters doing porn. Child. I hope it ain't true, but you don't never know what's going on these days, you know. But yeah. Klaus said that since it's Black History Month, this behavior is considered black excellence. Okay, Klaus, it's ridiculous. But anyway, guys, that's all I got on this. Like I said, once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I know this live was long, but I really wanted to play this whole entire interview for you guys. A shout out once again to Kietta Mayweather-Gamble for putting out this explosive interview in 2012. I hope that Siobhan is okay. You know, I hope that her kids is gonna be okay. But Dwyane Wade, baby, all I know is God has to find a judge. The Most High karma is gonna be stiff for this fool, and he doesn't look like he was happy the other day, and I'm sure he's not even happy now. Okay, so I'm gonna get off here, guys. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys so much for supporting the stream. If you sent me financial support by way of donation, I appreciate it. Jessica said, standing ovation for this video, Miss Olivia. Thank you, Jessica. Beautiful Ray said, I remember folks congratulating Wade from taking those boys. Unfortunately, them boys would have been better with their mom. I absolutely believe they would have been better off with their mama. My God, I can't imagine what these babies, ooh, child, Mr. Fist. He bottled up his fist. And that's the same thing that was done to him. Child, ain't no telling what them kids don't went through. Okay? Lady Tia, it's sad. This old interview was showed any light. Yeah, like they hit it. It's still on YouTube, but you know what I mean? Shit, I ain't never heard about this till I heard it last night. You know what I mean? That it wasn't showed any light. I agree, Lady Tia. The mainstream media didn't want this to come out. Why she on the Oprah show, giving her side of the story? Did Oprah ask her for an interview and she turned around? Turned her down? Did Oprah even try to interview her to get her side of the story? Because y'all know, but I already told y'all about Oprah and how shady she is. And Gabby, people were really in support of Gabrielle Union because people was dragging her online. Now I understand why they was dragging her. They was right to drag her butt online through the mud. But God don't like ugly. That's all I got to say. And I ain't gonna start preaching, but I don't appreciate this. And for them to disrespect the mama and just go on and tell the world that this boy's supposed to be gay at 12 years old, you know? You know his mama wasn't in support of all of this. Excuse me, y'all know I got a cold. One day it's 70 years, the next day it's 20. I can't never get well around here. Okay, not to mention I got sinus. But anyway, yeah, I just hate that. I feel like the mother has been disrespected from the start this whole time. And I bet, you know, ain't no telling what else she had to go through that she didn't say. Because clearly she still has some feelings for the man, even though she been through all of this. Because she could have said much more. Do you see what I'm saying? But her faith is stronger than either one of these demons. Stronger than this Gabby demon or this Dwyane Wade demon. And they are match made in hell, and they deserve each other. Okay, and I'm going to have to leave it at that. But domestic violence is real. Okay, y'all check out the thumbnail that I'm going to put up for this. I haven't had it yet, but as soon as the video starts to load, I'm going to put up this thumbnail because it's got a very important message concerning domestic violence. Okay, because domestic violence is real. Love don't have to hurt that way. I will continue to, advise you guys and plead and beg with you guys to please divest from any form of abuse. Because domestic violence, love don't have to hurt that way. First time somebody treats you bad, leave them alone. It ain't got to be all that. Okay? I hate that this family had to go through this, especially these kids. It's just so, oh my God. I just feel sorry. I'm without words. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a nice rest of your day. Thanks for joining me this morning. Thanks for supporting me financially. If you did so, I appreciate it. It motivates me to keep bringing you guys this type of information because the truth needs to come out about these people. Okay. And so, Lord have mercy. Oh, no, don't worry about it, Jessica. Don't worry about it. Oprah been counseled in my book, Jessica. Oprah is a demonic demon. I agree with you, beautiful away soldier. Yeah, absolutely. She is also a handmaid for white supremacy. You know, with all that entails. And I'm gonna get out here. Like I said, you guys have a wonderful weekend. I love you guys because that is what I am required to do. Y'all keep your eyes open. Don't fall for these tricks of this media because all I ever heard about that lady, Siobhan Wade, before listening to this interview is that she was crazy. That's all I had ever heard, you know. And I hate that more people haven't seen this interview, this very intense, you know, up close and in-depth interview from this woman. And I believe every single last thing she said. Okay, because she ain't said nothing out of the ordinary. The same things that she described, the ways that she was abused. These are the same stories of a whole lot of women, you know, in the world. And I have, you know, helped counsel a lot of domestic violence women, rich and poor. And her story sounds a lot like their stories. So she said nothing that was out of character or unbelievable to me, including the financial abuse. They do anything to hurt you, to control you, including kill your kids sometimes, just to see you suffer. He was holding her kids away from her to see her suffer. Y'all know he never want custody of them kids. If she would have got custody of them kids, he would have had to pay her child support, you know, which he was already refusing to do, you know. And he just got them kids to hurt her. And shame on Gabrielle Union because she now has a child. And we're going to see how that play out. Do you see what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, y'all have a great weekend. I'll talk to y'all later. Don't forget to smile. Honey, don't forget to smile at somebody. And never, ever, ever forget to love yourself first. Because hopefully if you love yourself more than you love anybody else first, you won't have to go through nothing like this. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm going to talk to you guys later. Y'all have a nice weekend. Bye-bye. Peace. Oh, have mercy.